Okay, I'm just checking if I'm audible now. Yes, I think I'm audible. There's a hissing sound. I'm just trying to remove it. Just give me 1 minute. I'm done. Thank you for bearing with this stuff. Okay, I can hear now. It's clear. Okay, so greetings, dear ones. I think the hissing sound has gone now. Okay, greetings then, everyone. Very nice to meet you today, Sunday morning. And sorry for this because this problem is happening. Sorry, because I'm having to do this through the laptop and I have to use some external software to get all this streaming and all that. Whereas on mobile it's direct, and I cannot do from mobile because there are no 1000 subscribers. That's how YouTube tells me. Okay. So YouTube tells me that you need to have minimum of 1000 subscribers to do it from your mobile. So I'm just waiting for it to become 1000. I think it's close to some 900 something. That is why every Sunday I have this problem, and if I'm traveling, I'm unable to do this from outside. I have to rely on a laptop, and I cannot carry my laptop when I'm traveling. So hope you have been doing good, and nice to see you all today. So today I was planning to just do this session on being in the temple. Being in the temple, being in the temple means there are two meanings, when I put being, human being, that's one, human being, any living being is called being. So being in the temple. Okay, so there is a temple, or there is a being in the temple. Who can be the being in the temple? Who can be in the Garbhagriha? The Lord himself, the Supreme, or what you call as God. God is in the Garbhagriha, in the temple. So the being is that God in the temple. That is what I mean by being when I put into the quotes. So that's the being. There's another meaning to it. Being means to be in the temple. So being in the temple. So I am being in my temple. So you have to be in your temple. You have to be in your temple. So you are being in your temple. Where is the temple? This is something very beautiful. I am happy to share with you guys, whoever are very serious about this path and looking for straight direct methods instead of beating around the bush. In the past 20 years, 20 plus years, I've been doing a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of things. And I realize the mistake is in doing. It took me a lot of time to realize why things are not moving hastily, though I am doing so much things. And I came to know that doing was the problem because of the doership. So Tirunamalai actually opened the horizons to me. I just opened that little gap that was missing, and where I couldn't seem to find a way out. And I thought I must share this with others, because I know we are all on the same path, and same path in the sense path towards realizing ourselves. So I knew that we are all moving on that same path towards the same direction. So I thought if I share this, it might help you. And this is exactly this is again certainly not 1 second. This is certainly not related to one path or anything like that. It is commonly to all the paths. So anybody any path you are following, this will matter to you. because this is something that hits straight to the point. Because if you see all the path, what are they trying to do? Every path is only trying to get your attention into stillness. You know, it's only trying to do to find a way. Let me just shut this volume down. It's only trying to bring you into steadiness, into stillness, a certain kind of stillness. Only after then, whatever you call as realizing or understanding or experiencing yourself or that bliss or that stillness, all that will come only from that point. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. If the mind is not steady, if the mind is too hasty and the mind is running about, mind is too much jumpy, you cannot experience that. And when we are doing so many things, I just am unable to understand when the mind is involved in doing so many things. Where can the mind get still? Where is the mind going to get steady? And if the mind is not steady, we won't experience anything, because all the time is gone in just doing and thinking. There is so much of thought process always involved. In all the practices, any practices we do, there is so much of thought. It is all good. See, I don't mean nothing is good. Everything is good. Yoga is good. Yoga is good for the health. It is good for your physical health. It is good for your etheric health, your subtle health, your mental health, your emotional health. It is all good. It helps you stabilize, things to a certain point, not beyond it. It helps you calm down your nerves. It helps you calm down your body and bring you to a certain state of non-movement, the body and the mind. That is very important, because if the body is not well, you cannot go within, you cannot be on the journey. So, yoga does help, pranayama does help, all the breathing stuff does help. But what I am trying to tell you is, they will only prepare grounds for you, but they will not take you further. They will not take you further. They are only props, they are only tools. So, they can help you only to a certain extent to prepare you for the journey inward. But what I see around is, the whole world is stuck just in the preparatory process, thinking that is the process. It is not. It is just a preparatory process. But you cannot call that a final process, because when you do yoga, when you do any kind of activities, be it exercise or be it dieting or be it chanting, even chanting, or you do kirtans, you do singing, you do prayers, you do puja, you do aarti, you do bhajan, you do abhishekam, you do any kind of rituals, anything. These are all, again I am telling you, these are all tools, these are not the way. They may be called way because it is the initiate, it begins there, your journey, your way begins there, but I am telling you, it won't take you beyond a certain end. Rituals will not take you beyond a certain end. Chanting will not take you beyond a certain end. Yoga will not take you beyond a certain end. None of these, anything where there is subject and there is object. Remember this always. When there is two, that is just the beginning of the path. The two will have to go and merge into one. There is where the actual thing begins. Two means subject. I am the subject, object is outside. I am the subject, mantra is the object, something outside. Even if I take it inside, it is still two. There is a chanter and there is a chant. Even the singer and the song, the worshipper and the worshipped, the deity, two outside. So, there is always two here. You do your yoga, again there is two, the skill or the method and the doer, there is two. The oneness does not happen there. So, where there is two, remember it's only a tool. This is what at least I have very crystal clear found out, and I am trying to fill in the gaps if few of you are feeling stuck or unable to understand where what is going wrong despite doing so many things, it's not happening. So, the whole thing is in that, the idea is in that. The other day somebody wrote to me from US, I am doing this particular meditation, some kind of meditation, some deep meditation, probably Kundalini meditation only. And she said, I did this deep stuff for some time just recently, and right now I am feeling unstable. I am feeling just like I want to throw myself off the cliff. Means I want to die. It's gone to that extent. I can't believe that I am thinking this. I have never had this kind of thoughts. My mind is going haywire. I told you are doing a lot of things, that's why. Why don't you just calm down for some time? Oh, no, I am supposed to do this. This is my prescribed way of living my spiritual life. I said, if that is causing you so much of agitation, why don't you calm a bit? Why don't you settle down from doing to being? Just be for some time. Then later on you can continue, but why don't you just shut down for some time? No, this is I have to do this. What do you have to suggest now according to what you have to say? I said, I am already suggesting you. I am telling you. No, you seem to be so calm and all these things. I am telling you. Oh no, but I have to. I said, please go ahead and do it. Carry on. Wish you well. And she went. It is the ideology, it is a certain kind of conditioning that the world has conditioned us, or our own conditioning which we have picked up from here and there, our own belief systems. You know why people stick to beliefs and conditionings and certain things of the external all the time is because of fear. Scared people do that all the time. They are feared, full of fear. If I don't do this, this will happen, or if I do this, this will happen. Fear or greed, I always say this. If I do this, I might get something to benefit the me. Do it. If I don't do it, oh, the sky will fall on me. Because somewhere there is a strong belief that, it is linked to, it is connected to some condition. You have to do it this way, otherwise dash. Nobody knows what also. If somebody just says otherwise, more than enough. And if you are already full of fear, khatam. You will stick to it. You will also not ask what is that further, because to ask only is fear. How can I ask? It is not right, it is not appropriate. That is your fear. That is how most of the people don't even know what they are doing. Many are not even knowing what they are doing. And then later another lady came to me. These are all in my personal consultation. So another lady signed up. And she has nothing to do with these paths. She is somewhere from South India and following some other path, again some other master. And that master is not even known, because she told the name, I have never heard. But it is Kundalini sadhana. So she said, I am going haywire. I need help. Help on what? Here it is buzzing completely. I can't sleep at night. Here it is completely buzzing. I said, speak to your guru, because your guru has prescribed that, and he has given you diksha. Oh, he is not available. I tried contacting, but he is not available. And then I said, I want to come. Then I got a message, no, don't come, I will pray for you. And then 1 year is so, it's like some whistle is blowing on my left ear, right ear it's okay, and sometimes it shifts here and there. I am going mad. I said, you are not going mad, these are Kundalini symptoms. These are symptoms of awakened Kundalini. But why are you doing this? Oh, because so and so. I am on the path towards liberation and all this. So I said, what do you want here? I said, I want to learn more. More on what? I want to ascend on the path as fast as possible. I said, that's your problem. When you go as soon as possible, if you want to do, and if your body is not ready for it, your mind is not ready for it, this is what will happen. You are not prepared your body or in your mind to handle that kind of a current, that kind of energy. So you go somewhere and you seek, I need this energy, even if you don't seek from any other master also. Sit at home and you seek desperately. Divine Mother, grace me, and see what happens. The energy just responds to you, it doesn't think for you. You have to think for yourself. You ask and you shall be given. You seek and you shall get it. Knock and the door shall be opened. This is what Jesus Christ said, and this is what he exactly meant. If you ask with full faith and strong conviction, it will come to you. But the question is, are you prepared for it? You are not prepared for it because you don't know anything about it. And the areas you do not know, how can you go into and venture into so openly? So I told her, there is a lot of doing from your part again, doing this, that. I asked her what you do. She said, morning I do this, evening I do this, afternoon I do this, and if I get time again I do this and that. I said, why don't you just calm down and instead of all that doing, just sit down for some time and assimilate what you've got. Why don't you assimilate what you've got? No problem, you are doing your sadhana, you are doing your, do it, no problem at all. But why that hurry, why that greed? Why can't you just settle down for the rest of the moment, and what you have acquired in that sadhana, that meditation, why can't you just assimilate it, let it simmer down into your being? How can it simmer into your being? When you be instead of do, instead of doing, if you are in the being, it will settle down. And that's the most natural thing for the self to do, because the self is just in the being. Please know that. Your true identity, our true identity, if you see, is the self, what we call a self or the soul. What is the Atman? The characteristics of Atman. Atman is just a being. It doesn't do anything. It's just a witnesser. It just observes. It is just alive. That's all. It doesn't accept. It doesn't reject. It doesn't take. It doesn't give. It doesn't monitor. It doesn't judge. It has nothing to say of its own. It will not even advise you. It will not even guide you. It is just being. It's just there. What happens when you enter into samadhi? When you are in some kind of deep samadhi or deep trance, you must have experienced it. If not, no problem. But if you have experienced it, you will know that it is a state of complete blankness, nothingness. Why nothingness? Because there is nothing to do. The soul is in that nothing state. Just witnessing and experiencing that bliss of nothingness. That is our true self. So the purpose, if you see, if anybody asks what is realizing self, it is that. Realizing that nothingness. Realizing that stillness. And in that there is bliss. So many don't understand what is this. How can you find bliss when nothing is there? Because we have been trained all the time, if you have everything and something, then only there is everything. So called happiness or peace or whatever. And that something is not there, nothing is there, how can there be peace? This is a speech of non-meditators. Those who have meditated and those who have even had a glimpse, they will know. There is great peace and great joy in that stillness. So for that, the doing has to settle down. As far as there is doing, There are things happening in your body and mind. As long as you do. Even when you don't do, when you are sitting still also, there will be a lot of things happening, but you are not engaged in that process. You are not involved with what is going in your mind and body. You just become a mere witness. But if you are a doer, if you are in the practice of doing, even if there is a reaction or an action in your body and mind, you are bound to be engaged in it without fail. It's the nature of the mind. The doer will always engage. Please note this, again I am repeating, the doer will always engage. The doer cannot be still, the doer cannot retract. You try it. If you carry the feeling that I am the doer, in whatever way, I am the father, I am the mother, I am the child, I am the brother, I am the sister, I am the husband, I am the wife. Just that understanding that I am something will make you do something or the other. Just notice this. Just that feeling of I am someone. I am a disciple, I am a good person, I am a bad person, anything that I am dash dash dash, whichever comes with which you identify yourself, you will see that you are automatically engaging in that. Engagement means action. Immediately there is an action, and action means 100% reaction. Reaction cannot happen without action, simple as that. Action cannot happen without doership or without engagement. Engagement cannot happen without doership. This is what the link is. So, it is very important to understand that. So, if I am something, I am bound to do something, and in that doing is where the karma also begins. Karma happens only when there is doership, mind you. All the mystics have spoken about it. Lord Krishna has spoken so much times about it. Karma begins only when there is a doing feeling, a doership. And when does the doership happen? When I am identified with any role that I play, any role that I play. So, the doing means engagement, engagement means action, action is karma, karma means action. The literal meaning of karma is action. Kriya, action is again kriya. Kriya means something that is done. Kriya needs a doer. Yoga needs a doer. Meditation needs a doer. Can you see the catch? Meditation also needs a doer. That is why many people do meditation. Problem is all in the doing. Because it is so sukshma, it is so subtle, you cannot notice the difference. Only if you sit in moments of reflection and stillness and are able to observe this in pure awareness, you will notice this difference. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Even right now when I am telling you, you might not be able to relate to until you are right now sitting in stillness. If you are sitting in a certain kind of awareness and stillness, you will exactly get what I am trying to say. But if you are not still right now, you will have to think what this guy is saying. And their mind will be forced to think and bring in thoughts. That is doership again. There is a doing there. Being is just witnessing, like hearing, in pure awareness. You are just aware of what is being spoken. And when you are aware of what is being spoken, you are even aware of the contents of what is being spoken, and that illuminates in your space, in your awareness. You can see it. In dissection, you can see what I am trying to say without thinking. There is no thought involved here. Why it is clear when there is awareness? When I am saying something in awareness and you are listening in awareness, everything you can see is just illumined without, you are not even having any opinion, but you can see it, things happening in your awareness. Why? Because the mind is not involved. That is the clarity. See, why the clarity is coming without any effort. This is effortless communication. Listening without even effort. without having to strain your ears and sending the signal from your ears to your brain, and the brain decoding it and then making different opinions about it, and then sending it back to the mind, then mind sitting and looking at it and dissecting and saying, okay, this is the thought that has come, this is the result, now is this true or false? Then the logic and the illogical stuff begins again there, and then the intellect gets involved to make a judgment, should this be right or should this be wrong? Again, your intellect will depend on how pure or impure your mind is, because the intellect works from there. So if the intellect feels has content something like a lot of doubts and lot of wrong experiences with this subject, it will not decide properly. There will be a dull discrimination and dull intellectual process. So it might okay it, it might not okay it. See the whole process, how it is involved. This is all in the doership. The moment you put things to your mind, this is what happens. It goes and it processes, and so much of effort, so much of doing is happening. So who is the doer? I. The thinker is the doer. I am thinking. So all this process has to happen in the doership. What about the other saying? What is the other thing that I am telling? Let go of your mind, still down, settle down in awareness, and you will see the mind is not involved there. The awareness which is above the mind is very clearly seeing it, dissecting it, whatever it has to do, and producing what is fact. It is not even giving you an opportunity to think this is right or this is wrong or even decision making. It is just opening the facts as to what it is, because your intellect is not involved. The intellect that is polluted by the mind is not involved. So there is no chance of you having a right or wrong. What is right will be reflected in your awareness, because your awareness is you, the soul. Your soul is your awareness. Your soul cannot lie to you. Your soul will just show what is right to you. Even if somebody is talking wrong, your soul will even show that it's wrong. Clearly, it will show to you. And if it is right, it will show it is right. If it is wrong, it will still read through the wrong and see what is right. Are you getting my point? I am repeating it again. If it is wrong, something that has been shown to you or talked to you or revealed to you that is wrong, the awareness will seep through that wrong and find what is right and reveal to you what is best out of that, ignoring the rest. That is what awareness can do, because it is soul consciousness. It only knows the highest truths. It will only reveal to you the highest truth. That is what I meant to say. When you are studying anything, when you are studying the path, open your awareness and study. Open your awareness and walk. Open your awareness and talk. Open your awareness and read. Open your awareness and study. Open your awareness and meditate. Only what is for your highest good shall come across through you. And you do not have to sit straining what is good and what is bad, and then worrying about what is bad, and then even being concerned and worried about my own decisions. Is this decision right? What am I thinking? Is it right? Is my action based on that decision right? I do not have to. Automatically the awareness does it. Automatically. This is why all the mystics, all the great saints, everybody, they follow their heart. What is meant to say? Heart is nothing but the soul, what they are trying to say. They never say, I follow my mind. Have you observed that in the spiritual path? They always say, I follow my heart, or they say, follow your heart. Why? Because the heart is linked to your soul, not to your mind. Heart and mind are two opposites. They cannot be friends. You can befriend it for your time being. If you are using too much of a mind user and you cannot stay without the mind, then you can befriend the heart, and then your mind will listen to your heart, but again there is a listener there. When your mind listens to your heart, still it will go to your intellect, and still the processing of right, wrong, discrimination, all that will keep happening there. Still there is a risk of polluting what you have got from your heart. Many people say that. There is a big saying I have seen in many quotes saying that, when mind and heart walk together, great things happen. Yes, it happens, but then the mind has to be purified to that level where it does not interfere in making right decisions or seeing the right things from here. So that's how the link is. That's what being is, what I'm trying to tell you. Being, the being, just be. So I told that lady, says, just settle down for a while. Oh no, but this is too overwhelming. I said, that's all normal. What you are hearing on the left ear is just tinnitus. It's, if you go to the medical doctors, they will diagnose it as tinnitus and give you medicines for that, and perhaps even recommend surgery for you. But in the energy world, that's normal. That's your ear trying to accommodate to the higher frequencies, the higher sounds that you are hearing from higher dimensions. It's trying to adapt. Your ears are built for 3D, third dimensional. But what you are in your brain and in your head, what is processing is something that is coming from higher realms, because you are doing that kind of sadhanas. So you are connecting to those kind of energies, and your body is not yet ready. That is why your ears are troubling you. So it is overwhelming for the system most of the time when such things happen. Your third eye is buzzing. You can't sleep. It's hyperactive. Your pineal gland has gone hyperactive. Why? Because it can't tolerate that frequency. Most of the people today are suffering with so many Kundalini symptoms, and they are thinking they have gone mad. And mad enough for the healthcare system to make them mad. Because when they approach the healthcare system, all that will be told, you are going crazy. So, her dilemma, I was saying, she cannot go to her guru. There is no guidance from her guru because he is not available. She cannot go to a doctor because if they go to the doctor, they will suggest her all weird things and diagnose her with the weird things. Whom will people go to? Thousands or lakhs of them there, out in this world. And as if not enough, the earth energy also is increasing and bombarding like anything. People are not understanding what is happening to them. They are sounding to go crazy completely. Because the energy boost is happening and nature is waiting for no one. If you are not ready, who cares? I don't care a damn. I am just pumping in the consciousness because the whole agenda is to raise the consciousness of the planet. So if you are lacking behind, you take care of it. Because the planet has been warning enough time to take care. The planet has been always moving in this direction. There are enough spiritual masters on the earth who are guiding people, warning them, telling them to move ahead. There are so many motivators, there are so many people, divine workers of light, all in this globe, thousands and lakhs of them, all sending across and relaying these kind of messages. But if one doesn't hear, then you can't blame the planet for it. You can't blame anything for it. That is moving at its pace. So, in order to keep up, one has to keep up with themselves. How can one keep up with themselves when the whole attention is out in the world, which is already so confused? Everything out there is so confusing. Nobody knows what they are doing. The whole healthcare system, they don't know what they are doing, where they are heading, what they are doing. How can you depend on anything outside? This is all because the run is outside. She said, I am desperate to connect to my guru. I am not able to connect. He is somewhere from Tamil Nadu, I don't know. But I am trying to connect, I am not getting in touch. I don't say he is an incompetent master. No, it is because he is a competent master only. A Kundalini is, after Diksha, it has gone picked up. I am telling her dilemma, but she is not able to contact them. And when she can't go to the any hospitals, She can't turn to any friends and family because they are all thinking she's mad. Home people tell, we are told you before only, don't get into all this spiritual stuff. Who asked you to get into? So you can't even turn there. Friends and relatives don't know what's happening. What's all these weird things? So what will they do? And when she came to me for that, I said, trust your inner being. That is where you need to go. Only thing is because you are outside. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. So it's all in the being. I told her the same, just to be for some time and go within and connect to your inner being. Why are you running so much outside? Why are you feeling so helpless? You're feeling helpless because you're running outside. You're depending so much on the other systems. And if you don't get response from them, you are like, why? Because we have not settled down and stilled and learned to connect with our inner systems. There must be a time where everything has to turn within. That is why I don't speak this to the public, because they will never understand. Because this is not meant for everybody, and everybody is not meant to turn within. Please understand this, guys. Everybody cannot turn within, because if their time is not right, they cannot turn within. If there are too many external stuff that is keeping them motivated, inspired outside, they will always look outside. Not for them to blame. You and me also know we have all been that once upon a time. That's how the transition happens. But it becomes our duty, I am telling you, it becomes our duty once we realize the inner being and the connectivity to the inner and the strength that we have from inner. It becomes our duty to convey this to all the others who might be struggling in that phase, who are just in that process of moving from out to in. We must tell them, because it's a very that state of mind is very cranky. It can confuse. I am telling you, many people feel suicidal. This lady told me she tried to take her life twice and she was saved. She ate some chemical or something. And that lady, I told you again, just 3 days back. This consultation was yesterday, and 3 days back before that, that US lady told me she wants to throw herself off the cliff. And these are divine beings, my dear. I don't understand this. Very divine people. I've been making so many videos on that, about suicidal things and this kind of thoughts and what's happening with the mind, what's going with the body, so much of confusion. All that I'm trying to do is ease this process. Because I understand how it is, because I have been through it. I know how it feels. I have also felt all that, suicidal and all that stuff. So I can relate to how it feels. But then doesn't it become our duty to help those guys who are actually being there? My work is more involved in that. Trying to sort out things for people which they are unable to sort out through the gift of awareness, and telling them and teaching them that this is what you need to do. Just get into the space of your own awareness, depend on yourself more than others, make this being, this body, this mind as your shrine, make this your temple. Go within, go within, sit and meditate within. Whatever you do outside, that's another thing. Even if you are doing external sadhana, it's fine. But that sadhana also, turn it within. Make it a practice to become the being, the temple, and enter that sacred temple in sacredness, just like you enter any sacred space or shrine outside. Enter it in that manner within and sit there within. That being which is the false I, the falseness, the one with the identity, the one with the ego, the one with blah blah blah, whatever, all the flaws and negativities, no problem. When we go out to a temple, we are full of flaws. So much of flaws. And we go to the temple, what? To cleanse, to purify. Go with the same attitude within also. But then, the best advantage is that the disadvantage when you go to an outside temple is, you know there is a temple that is so sacred and sanctified, and you know there is a sinner now going to cleanse. I am not talking about the one who goes and begs inside a temple, give me this, give me that. I am not talking about those worldly stuff. I think in these kind of sessions we are beyond all that stuff, where we go for asking something or the other. Bhikari banke. I remember Avadhut Karnakar Swami, who used to sit in the slums, and when we used to go to meet him, he used to be always in some, he used to talk, he used to blast people, he used to give bad words, filthy words and all that stuff, but he was an antaryami, he was knowing what's happening. So he used to be connected to Ganeshpuri most of the times, and sometimes he used to tell us, "Aa gaye dekho bhadve sale sare bhadve." I don't know if you know the meaning of that. They talk that way. Sare bhikariya aa gaye dekho. And we will think, whom is he telling? He is actually relaying live telecast from Ganeshpuri. Because at that moment, there are some cars that have come, rich people with garlands, they are getting out of the car. And here this Avadhuta is seeing, is telling, here comes the beggars. Is to say, बाहर कुछ भिखारियां बैठे हैं पैसे के लिए, और ये उससे भी बड़े भिखारी आ गए मांगने के लिए. And then he will tell, देखो अंदर जा रहे हैं, देखो कैसा फेंक रहे हैं फूल उसके गले में, उसके मीन्स नित्यानंद भगवान के, द आइडल, गले में देखो हार फेंक रहे हैं. लेकिन नित्यानंद वहां नहीं है इंस्टूटल, वो जाके बाहर बैठा है भिखारियों के साथ. You say these beggars have come and they are putting garland around Nityananda, but Nityananda is not there, he is sitting out with the beggars, he said. The same beggars that these people kicked and went inside. Look. So, I am not talking about beggars. I am not talking when we go to a shrine or a temple and what we should do to go and ask for this and that. He had named it properly. He said eternal beggars they are. कभी इनका खत्म नहीं होगा wants. So I am talking where a person goes into a shrine with a very high expectation from oneself that I purify myself, I sanctify myself so that I can be worthy to be living in this temple forever, not just come and go, worthy to be living with my Lord, my being, my Ishta, whoever it is, and worthy of becoming one with that. So somebody who is going with that kind of an attitude into a shrine, knowing that I am not, maybe probably I am not worthy, that is why I am not getting so close, but I now need to purify myself and give me the strength. Those are different kind of asking. It is a very higher asking. You can't call that begging. Begging is again plead, please purify me, please make me worthy. You don't need to plead there, because you plead and you beg to a God only when you know it is not going to be answered. Your trust is not so strong then. So if you trust that being, you just need to ask, like you ask your parent or somebody whom you have full trust on. You just have to ask once. But it's an asking, that is seeking. That's not even asking, seeking. You seek something from the Lord. You seek to be purified. You seek to be sanctified. You seek to become one with that divine. And thus such kind of seeking will always be answered, because it is very selfless. There is no selfishness involved in it. There is no conditions attached to it. That is the power of that kind of seeking. So when you go to an outside shrine and you seek something, that you want to purify yourself, what do? We take care of so many things. Though we know we are not pure, we leave so many things outside. We leave our footwear outside, we leave our ego outside, we leave our attachment outside. You don't carry that, right? You cannot carry the ego into the shrine and then boss around there and say, hey, move aside and let me go in and I am going to pray and then stand still. It's not, that it doesn't work there. Even if you are such a person. So even if such a person is there, what they will do is they will have this knowing that this cannot go inside, this characteristics is not allowed inside, I should not. Though they are helpless that this personality is with them all the time, but when they are near a shrine, they will know, and they will leave that outside with their footwear, their personalities, their identities, the cell phone. You don't carry the cell phone inside a temple. I don't know, there might be people doing it, then that shows what intention is theirs. Somebody who is really going for some real reason will switch off the cell phone and go. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to leave everything outside and become as transparent to the Lord. All the stuff which is not good for you, which is going to be a distraction between you and your beloved, you are leaving it outside. You are dropping it outside. You are taking care to do that. And then still after doing all that, still I am telling you, the most best way you try to do it also, still there is a limitation. What is the limitation? You go inside, the Lord is there, you are here. You pray to the Lord, you are connected with the Lord, you ask something, you say something, you communicate something, still there is a subject and there is an object. Even though it is a very high divine or purified process, there is still two there. And the moment you come out of a temple, you will be forced to take your cell phone and on it, you will be forced to wear your footwear, you will be forced to put on your ego back. Because in the functioning of this world, you need all these tools. So whether you want it or not, you will find yourself forcing yourself with that and getting back into the world and forgetting that object and subject business. The object is back in the temple. Only those little moments you were in the temple, you had a great time or you had a productive time. But now you are with yourself, the same helpless me. And if I need help or if I need the urge to purify myself, what I do is I wait for another Sunday and go back another Sunday to the same sanctorum, so that I can repeat the process and enjoy that 5, 10, 15, half an hour, 30 minutes, whatever, in that sanctified place, feel sanctified and come back and get dirtied again. This is a very common process. In my childhood, I refused to go to church because of this. Because in the church, there is something called confession. Every Saturday there is confession, where people stand in queue and there is a priest there who is sitting behind a curtain. They can't see you, you can't see them, but they can hear your voice. Everybody one by one kneels down and says one prayer and says, Father, I have come here to confess my sins and this is what I did. The whole week I have done this. I was jealous, I hated that person, I bad remarked somebody, and then I bad mouth about somebody, I spoke back to my father, I hit my sibling, I stole that chocolate from my partner in the class, I told so many lies. This all this I did because I was very conscious of my sins. And in Christianity, they make you very conscious of your sins. Whether you are conscious or not, there is always somebody who will make you conscious and make you feel like you are a sinner, worthless sinner. That's how it goes. So I always felt like a worthless sinner. So by the time it is Saturday, I go there feeling completely full of muck and dirt, feeling the dirtiest being ever on earth, and now with a desperate need so that I can whitewash myself. And then I pray to the priest there saying, this is this. With all my heart I used to do that because I knew I was a sinner. And then he used to say, my child, don't worry. The Lord God is very compassionate and merciful. He hears your prayer today. For this, recite this prayer for 12 times here in this church with oneness with that person, and then go, you will be free of all sins. And I am telling you, I used to go and sit there and do this prayer completely connected to that Christ there, because I knew he will forgive. And guess what? When I got up, completely I used to feel completely as though it's really gone. I used to feel it, sense it. And when I'm out of the church, I used to feel, wow, so light and free. It worked. It definitely worked. But then one day, I just stopped going to the confession box, because I asked my father, my biological father, who never went to church because of all these formalities. He believed in praying from the home. I didn't know then. So when I asked him, he had also no answers as to why, if I go on a Saturday and confess all my sins, and if I am clean, I become clean. This is exactly what I am telling you, what you do in the temple. You become clean and come outside. But then by Sunday, I am again back into my world and I have forgotten everything, and I do all the same damn things again. And I see that next Saturday I am sitting and giving him almost the same list, little here and there. It's all the same. I have been jealous. I stole something, this time not a chocolate, this time I stole an eraser from my partner who is sitting there. And this time I did not hit my brother, I hit my sister. This time I did not backmouth my parents, I back answered my teachers. Same stuff, but in a little different format. And then the priest again says, don't worry, he will forgive you, you do this. And I used to sit and do, it's gone. Then I said, what is the system? The system of having a confession in the Saturday, every Saturday itself is an encouragement that, go my child, sin and come, I am sitting here to cleanse you. And that is my pattern, that is everybody's pattern who go there. Oh, it's okay, confession hai na, dekh lenge. While doing it, the consciousness reminds us, the conscience, this is not right, it's okay, let me do it now. Saturday we will go and confess and get it. How many of us do this? Even all those religions do this. We do all the kind of sins and then we go to Tirupati and give a bribe of 5 lakhs to God and says, take this whole black business that I did away, so that we can be partners in this business deal. We have this kind of attitude. So this is still the catch when we go to a shrine outside. We might be doing a lot of things, we might be getting purified every time, everything okay, but it's a never ending process. Where is this thing going to end? Where am I going to stop being dirty again and again and going and doing the same process again and again? I have seen on all these years people who need events again and again, seminars again and again. All the holy seminars, divine seminars, healing seminars, they want again and again. Why? Because they cannot get rid of this habit of doing or repeating the same old stuff again and again. They love to go and jump in the dirt, filth, and then come and want to get clean again. I remember my master once saying, you are like those little doggies which I give bath every time. I catch hold of you and nicely I scrub you and cleanse you so much, and then I let you to dry yourself, and instead of going and sitting in the sun, you go and straight jump into the mud and scramble there. And then again come to me for cleansing. This is what we must understand. If we say things are not working, it's not true. We are not come out of the unconscious habit of improvising things or getting over things. I don't mean that once you say, oh, this is bad, this is sin, I'll not do it and it will happen. No, it will not happen. It might repeat again and again. Even though you're consciously, you might do it. Through your consciousness, you might do it. But somewhere down the line, it has to reduce until it eradicates. That is a life of awareness. That can only happen if you are a complete aware being. And non-aware person, an unaware person, will always fall into the loop without even knowing what they are doing. And by the time it's too late, they will understand they have become dirty again. And then they will strive again to go back to a temple, to go back to the master, to go back to another healing seminar or some event to get the thing rid away. Why? They do not know that this process can be done by themselves. They want somebody else to do it. Why? Because they have never taken the responsibility of their own crap. They say, this has been done to me. I went to live in the world and this has happened to me. Victim, it's happened to me, things are happened to me. Now I got to go and approach somebody who can make things happen for me again. Good things happen, bad things happened here, now I am going to make things good happen. Saw it. That's the catch. That's the catch even when you go to an outer sanctorium, outer temple. When you go to a temple, when you go to those shrines, when you go to those places, you must see a marked improvement in your life and in the purity of your mind and your being. And if you cannot gauge that, your awareness is completely dead, because it's awareness that will show you where you have reached. Most of us who feel that we are not proceeding, nothing is happening, our awareness is dead. There is no gauging system that can tell where we are or what we are supposed to do or what we are not supposed to do. There is nothing in us that can tell us. So we run to outside to find that something that can tell us where we are and tell us what to do. One mystic I was hearing, he was telling, one of his disciples came to him and she said, Swamiji, I have been coming to you for so long now. You know everything. Can you tell me one thing? He asked, what? Can you tell me where I have reached in my journey of self-realization? So the mystic looked at her from top to bottom. He said, मेरे ख्याल से अभी घुटने तक आया है. I think you have come till the knee end. And then he laughed and said, people are still in the stupid notions. Where have I come? And somebody else to tell them where they are. Why do we need somebody else to tell where am I? No confidence in ourselves, no awareness of ourselves. I dress up, I wear a nice dress, I wear a good shirt or a good dress, and then I put on good makeup and such that I'm looking good. I stand in the front of a mirror, I'm looking good, but then I have a doubt. I go and ask somebody in the house, how am I looking? I was not sure. They look like this, okay, well, oh, then you go to your friend outside, how am I looking? Fantastic. Oh yeah, thank you. But then you meet somebody on the road again, you can't resist to ask once again, because somehow there is no full trust. Then you ask that person, what is this? And that person starts thinking for some time, and then you think, oh, you don't want to hear that answer. You go and then you take a selfie and you put it on the internet and then you wait. What is the response? You can see the response that's happening there. Just give me a moment. And then when it is put on the internet, then you need a feedback from there. And then still it's not, because some are saying okay, some are saying no, and some no response. You have 5,000 friends in your list and not even 5 comments have come, then so you are very scared now. Must be something seriously wrong with me. So many people are there, not even somebody is telling me anything about it. So this is because you are again depending and relying on things outer than you. You want somebody else to give you that confirmation. And you can see the catch of it, how it is. So that master said, "Shayad ghutne tak aaya hai. Maybe it's come till your knee level," and he was laughing. Can you gauge somebody and tell them where have you reached in the path of self-realization and how much time it takes to go there? Somebody put a message again from I think California today into my this, asking that I am doing this now. So at this speed, if I do it every day persistently, how long do you think it will take for me to realize myself? Are you getting the catch of all this? The whole catch is in that, dear ones. What I am stressing here is again the being in your temple. I am talking exactly on that topic only. I will come to that. Right now, the session's name is being in your temple, or the being in the temple that is you. But right now, what I am talking is the being in the outside temple, the being in some other church, some other gurudwara, some other mosque. The being that goes to church, the being that goes to a mandir. I am talking about that process. What happens when the being goes to another temple? These are all the catches that you can see. It might be even to the temple or the master's place or to the Lord's place, whatever you call it. You are going there to ascertain something from that end to tell you who you are, to tell you where you have reached. Why? When you go outside, you are depending on the consciousness of that being, consciousness of the master, consciousness of that God, consciousness of the temple. You trust in the consciousness of that temple more because you don't trust the consciousness of this temple. Are you getting that equation very clear? Very, very simple. You want to hear the advice, you want to hear how somebody can gauge you, where you have reached and what, somebody to tell you from outside, even how you look or where you are on the spiritual path, you want somebody to ascertain that or get acknowledged from outside because you trust the consciousness of that more than your inner consciousness, as simple as that. The whole funda is there. Why people can't turn within? Because they don't trust within, what is there within. They know andar kuda karkati hai sab. But they are not looking at that power which has got the power to cleanse that kuda karkat. They are always trusting this as dirty. They are always believing this to be in a very dire state, and they are believing the temple to be very holy. So they take this being to cleanse it there where it is clean. But the attitude, the approach always goes wrong when we go with that. Though it might be for a good cause. Like I said, Karunakar Swami said, Bhikariya aa gaye sab. They also went for a good thing. They have not gone for anything wrong there. They also went with probably the good intention only, but they do not know the process of how it works. And then the chances are always, when you come out of that shrine, like I said, you jump back into that pit of mud and then you become dirty again. When you become dirty again, you have to run back again to the master, again to the temple, again to the shrines, so that they can validate again back to you and tell you, like the priest always told me, don't worry son, you will be taken care of. He is compassionate, he has mercy, go and do these prayers. So I said, if this is the sacred mantra that he is talking about, if the priest is always telling the same mantra all the time, that he is compassionate, don't worry, he will take care of you, go and do this. Then I said, what if, now this has confirmed to me that the Lord God is so benevolent, he is so kind and compassionate, why do I need to hear this mantra and go there again? Why not I directly go and sit on that bench and do what I have to do? And I did that. I started doing that. I am talking about the childhood only. Probably 8th standard or 7th standard, 9th standard I was. I said, because it's the same story. Why do I have to go through all this formality? Let me go directly and sit. And I sat there directly and spoke to Christ and said the same things that happened. So instead of confessing now here, I started confessing there. I did this, I did this, I did that, and this happened, this wrong happened, I lied, I stole, I cheated, I back answered, blah 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 blah. And then I listened, and when I listened, I could see a sense of calmness, the same assurance coming to me, don't worry son, it will be taken care of. I do not judge you, I do not condemn you for who you are, what you have done. I made only good for you. So all that I need you to do is work on yourself, and it will be taken care of. And that day, same feeling, with the priest, without the priest, same feeling. Overjoyed. Wow, this is happening. Fantastic. Then some more visits again and again, every Saturday. Then every Saturday when I am talking, I am sensing it before only. You have told this before. Priest will not tell me that, because the priest has a certain system. He is given a certain format to follow. He will follow that format only. First you tell the sins, then he will say these things, then he will pray for you, then he will give you the prayers to chant, and then you go. But when you are talking to the Lord himself, that consciousness, it has no formalities. So when you are talking directly to it, you can hear something telling you, but why are you committing this again and again? Why are you doing the same sins again and again? Why do you need to come here every Saturday? I love you. I have no conditions attached to you. So does that mean you are going to continue this? It's a very this, that I couldn't take in my conscience. These things were happening, and somehow I couldn't face it. Next time I used to go into the church, I used to feel embarrassed. Before I even start praying my same pattern of prayers again and again, unconsciously, I started becoming more conscious. I started feeling embarrassed before even telling, Lord, here I come with the same set of, I didn't know what to do. Then I became mum. I used to go and sit there every time in embarrassment. I know I have done it. I have done the sins. But I am in no this to speak to him. The priest I can, because I can't see his face also. Here I am like directly facing that aura of his. And then that conscience began taking over me. That conscience began rising in me, telling that you shouldn't have done that. Why are you doing it? Why do you come and again have to tell it? Now when I left the church, it was different. I didn't leave behind the things. The whole thing, that awareness started moving within me. As I walked back home, I used to do a lot of things. I used to throw stones at the dog there. There was a dog there always sleeping near the church. Every time I used to throw the stone. This time when I am walking, I have become conscious. Because that is a part of my sin also, every time that I say. And now that consciousness is in me. And when I feel like picking the stone, I am saying, no, this is not right. This is not right. Something is telling me this is not right. So I don't pick the stone and I move back home. When I move back home, I go home and somebody is telling me something, same old thing. My mother comes and tells, father comes and I'm feeling like back answering, but then again, there is some awareness, some alertness within me. I'm conscious. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be doing that. And then in 1 or 2 days, I forget it. So like by Tuesday, I am all forgotten, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am sinned again. So now when I have gone to Saturday for the confession, I notice that there are sins, but it has drastically reduced, and the quality of the sins also have reduced. I say, yes, now I feel overjoyed, I can face the Lord. At least I am better than before. Some changes have happened. At least he'll be proud. As a child, I am thinking this, at least he'll be proud. Something good has also happened. He'll be happy. And I could feel that booming consciousness encouraging me. You're on the right path, son. Go ahead. Not telling me, no. So what? You did this nice, you spoke nice, but you did that thing also. You did that. Nobody there to point out that. That is done by the world. That is done by parents. That is done by teachers. That is done by friends. That is done by neighbors, the society. God cannot do that. So I started realizing that I must trust God more than the people around me. And that is when my going to church transformed me completely. I used to sit there in consciousness, be fully conscious throughout the process, and when I leave the church, I never left behind the things. I never picked back the things like, we pick back our cell phones, on it back, pick back our egos, pick back our footwear, and then we walk the same old path. No, it was walking, it was sinning also, but majority of the time the consciousness was alert enough to remind me not to do. And I could see a drastic change coming. Then I could feel closer to my Lord. So Jesus Christ, I felt very close to him. And undoubtedly now, today if I reflect, I can see that surely he was close. As a child, I did not understand, but that was his guidance. And where did this guidance come from? No priest, no mediator, no third party. Direct. That is when I learned that you can directly communicate with that. You don't need mediators. Why am I telling you this? Because the church going process also. Church here I am replacing for the temple. Because see, in Christianity also, if you watch the Bible very carefully, if you read, those old days, they never called it as church. Church was built after Jesus went, and Jesus never made Christianity. People made Christianity. He had nothing to do with Christianity. When he was there was no Christianity. He never said go build churches. Those days it was called as temples. If you read the old Bible, it was always said as temple. And now also, even if you Google that your own temple, you are the God within your temple, or being in your today's subject also, you just Google and see, you will find 95% of it coming from Christian backgrounds, because the temple of the Lord, this is known as temple of the Lord. And today what I am sharing, this whole session, is what I learned from my Gurudev. He used to encourage me on this path. If you see on my Jacob Shivanand profile, I have kept his message pinned. This particular message that nothing is there, go within to that inner temple and trust in the one inside that temple, and he will take care of you. This came as a recent quote from Gurudev. And I know to whom it came, because he was the only person who knew what I am doing. This practice. Here, I don't think he has taught this practice anywhere, but he knew what I am doing. Because most of the time I used to practice this, being in my own temple. And this is what I am relating this whole session from. And he knew it is right. Because then he started talking to me, yes, the temple. And one day he even said, I want to build this kind of a temple, which I want to call the temple of immortals. And then we began talking about it. Unfortunately, those things didn't materialize due to many other situations and conditions, unfortunately. But I don't know if he has any intentions for that. He might do it. But it is all based on the same concept, the temple of immortals, Who is immortal? The soul is immortal. This Atma never dies. And if this body is the temple and this Atma is residing within it, this soul is immortal. So this temple becomes the temple of the immortals. It was a beautiful concept, I remember. I had designed the concept because he asked me to make a temple. Show me how you do the temple. What is in your imagination, you do it. And I created it on a Photoshop, a temple, and the light within, a bright light that is coming from center of that. He was so happy. He said, "This is it. This is what I wanted." Exactly. That's a very important practice, but I don't know how many people will link to it. But I am telling you, if you want to really sanctify yourself, if you want to purify your mind, and I am not saying I am a purified, I am still doing those practices, but it has helped me a great deal. This is the Advaita philosophy. Probably he did not speak about it much because people don't understand. People still want to go to the temples and do it. Do it, no problem. The other day I had posted on my Jake-led profile Tirunamalai temple, a aerial view where there is this Arunachala hill and Arunachaleshwara temple also is there. Big, you can see it from far, huge temple. And everybody commented, beautiful temple and all that. It's one of the most divine temple that when you look at it only you get mesmerized. 2-3 mystics who are connected in my friend list, they commented, they otherwise never commented on this. They commented, they liked it. Some yogis, some masters, some other masters in some other country. Another yogi Pradeep Ullalji, whom I revere so much. I revere him so much. He is from the Himalayan tradition of the Kriya Yoga, directly from the lineage of Lahari Maharji and Mahavtar Baba. He is a Himalayan monk actually. He has got his own ashram, big ashram. The ashram I tried to once visit, I couldn't for some reason. They were not allowing because they don't allow anybody, and it's in a deep mountainous jungle. So I was so sad that time. I wrote to him, I wanted to come but your people didn't allow me. And so I went to Mokambika, and I was happy I went to Mokambika because I met Mohanji there at the same time. Very busy person and very busy team and all that. So I just put a message, and after a month or something I think he saw and he said, "You're welcome here." I couldn't go there, but then I haven't. And then when I put this post of Tirunamalai, I get a message from him saying that I am in Tirunamalai right now, are you around? That was the greatest privilege for me. A person of his stature was actually even hinting that we should meet. I said not now, but anyways, I was talking, I got carried away with that. And the temple itself is so mesmerizing, that image and all that. So many comments and all came, but one comment I got carried away with. The real comment. One person put, again somebody from the Western world only said, the biggest, because it was glorified as the biggest temple, one of the biggest temple, Arunachaleshwara. And she said, one small comment there, the biggest temple is within. I said, oh my God, yes. That's so powerful. That's awareness. That's awareness. Somebody is in awareness. They know if they are watching the world, they are in the world, they are doing everything. But ultimately when some things like this comes, they click. I was very happy with that comment. So I realize all these Facebook things and all these things are good. I learn so much from people also. So many deep insights they put sometimes, I put one post and then down in comments they write such deep stuff. I say, yeah, I never thought of it. So there are people who are so conscious, enlightened beings all around, living a very normal life and yet being so high in their level of consciousness. So coming back to what I was saying, the temple. This is the biggest temple. Only those who have interest in Advaita, who want to go into the oneness, can even think of this. Rest it will not interest. It will not interest them. How do I go within? It's impossible. Adi Shankaracharya said, why do all that worship outside? To do it inside. And he is the same person who created the worship outside. He is the same person who created the Meru, Sri Chakra, installed it in many places. Even Mukambika, Kamakshi. You go there and see, you can find how he has installed it. Adi Kamakshi. He himself had done that. Sringeri Pita, Sringeri Pita, which is there in Karnataka. He has installed them. The Sri Chakra, most revered, highest symbol of Tantra, the biggest yantra of Tantra, the Mahameru. But that is still nothing when that Meru goes within. The same master later taught non-duality, Advaita philosophy. Then one would ask, if that is true and that is more powerful than the outside yantras, why was it created? It was created for the world who is transitioning. Not everybody can relate directly to a yantra within. Not everybody can relate to the mantra that has no sound. Very difficult. Mantra means sound. You need to chant, you need to hear, you need to pronounce. But we do not know that mantra only, after a certain stage in the non-duality, turns into silence. Where that same sound which was heard by the ears are no more heard by the ears, no more spoken by the tongue, but it's a vibration that vibrates within you. That's non-duality, very powerful. Everybody cannot relate to it. So for those who cannot relate to it, is all the formalities of duality. All the karma kanda of duality is for those. So sometimes people try to put guilt into me, telling that, oh, you are not doing this, you are supposed to do this. We do this, we take books and read, blah, 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 and we do this kind of pujas. You are not doing that. It's very sacred. You don't know how powerful it is. Or you have to do tratak on that yantra and do this format. You are not doing it. It's not right. It's not about right and wrong. You are still to go beyond that stuff. You go, you take your time, no problem. You stay with that external things, you stay connected to that. But in the knowing, you know that one day you will have to transcend it. If you do not know that, but if you sit in the arrogance that this is my thing, you will see that you will remain stuck even after a certain time. Because the journey beyond that is Advaita. This is what Adi Shankaracharya told. The same person who installed the Mahameru, who is to worship things outside, he began the worshipper of himself. Aapko dehao, aapko bhajo. Adi Shankaracharya told this. The greatest puja that you can do outside, whatever people do outside, puja, the worship, the ritual, the greatest puja that you can do for Shiva, that the Abhishekam or whatever do you outside. He said the greatest puja you can do for Shiva is the Shiva Manas puja. Shiva Manas puja is inside, Manas is mind. Within yourself, where he asks you to become the Shivalinga and you worship yourself, means exactly what I am talking on today's subject, being in your temple. You are that being and you are none less than God, because self is God. Now, I told you the glitches that happens in external worship, they have their limitations. I elaborately told you in this session. I am not going on any other subject, I am rotating here only, moving here only. So what happens when you go outside to a temple and do this, so much of limitations are there, and so much you can get carried away again in the dual world, because there is a subject, there is an object. The subject worships and there is a worshipper who receives. This give and take. The moment this becomes little far, the chemistry dies down. These are the same people who love to be in the vicinity of their master, physical master, and it's great celebration for them. So once in a year or once in 10 years also, if they get to meet, it's a great rejoice, like it's a what do you call, reunion, school reunion what you have. It's jubilation, it's celebration, everything. But you will see it exists and lasts only till that physical meeting is there. The last day of that event, everybody will go depressed literally. The whole mood and joyous, the celebrative mood which is there, the blissful moments that they had, last day they waste it in tears and separation and the agony and the pain and the suffering. What kind of stupidity is that? Are we going for momentary bliss, or are we going to make our life blissful all the time? Is this what we are trying to learn, to keep ourselves blissful and cheerful and light and connected and peaceful all the time, or is it only for those moments? Nobody thinks about this. That's what I am trying to say. Life of unawareness. Nobody thinks about it. What they are doing, nobody knows. Now, it is none of my business to tell what others are thinking. Here I am doing this session, I am giving an example so that you can relate and clearly see it. I am not trying to convert anybody. Let them do what they want. But I am telling you, if you are interested to know these things, you do a comparative study, understand these things in awareness, and you will see how it can be related in your life, because you can make your life change or transform through this understanding of awareness. If it relates to you, apply it. If it doesn't, go back to the same thing and do that, continue doing it, no problem at all. But it might help somebody. That's what I am saying these things, because it has helped me tremendously in my journey. And that's the reason I try to share this with the world, with the intention of helping. This is my way of trying to help. So what happens is, all the glitches which are there in the two dual starts merging and the unification begins happening. What is self-realization? Self-realization is when you realize that you are the self. Who is the self? The Atman. Self is none other than Paramatman. Self is none other than God. So when you realize yourself, how do you realize yourself? The moment you become aware that, oh, this me, that Atman, I am not this body, I am this pure soul. And it's a jubilant expression that happens when you realize that. It might be momentary, it might be permanent, whatever, but that sure short glimpse will come that I am not this body, I am this eternal immortal soul which is never going to die. And this soul is none other than God. So what am I trying to say is, in simple words, I am Shiva. I am the Atman. Atman is none other than Paramatman. Chidakasha Gita also explained this so beautifully. Who is the Jivatman? Jivatman is the one who is dead in consciousness, like an animal. The Jiva. Jiva means any being. A dog also is a Jiva, a human also is a Jiva. The Jiva Atman, when the awakening of that Atman happens inside, that the Jiva comes to know that there is a soul inside me. I am not just a Jiva, I am a Jivatman. There is an awakening that happens. Oh, I am a Jivatman. There is God within me, or there is a soul within me. I am not what I think to be. That is the start. The awareness of the Jivatman. And then the Jivatman realizes that I am not even the Jiva later. I am pure Atman. And when the day the person realizes I am not this body, not the Jiva, but I am pure Atman, or the self, that is called self-realization. I realized who am I clearly. I am not the Jiva, but the Atman. And when I am realizing what is this Atman, because when I say Atman, you should know the characteristic. What is that Atman? It is a pure consciousness, pure awareness, just pure bliss awareness, which is just a part and parcel of that God consciousness. The God consciousness is the huge, you can say the sun, and you are a lamp flame. That flame which is there is that Agni of the Surya, of the sun. So the quality is the same. You just realize you are that soul. And the moment you realize that Atman, you will see that there is no difference between Atman and Paramatman, because it's the same stuff which has come here, separated into billion parts. It's the same stuff. Then you say, I am Paramatman. That is when we say, I am Shiva or Shivoham. And that is the expression that is said in Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahman which has created, the creator of everything. I am the Brahman. Or Tattvamasi, I am that, thou art that, you are that, I am that. That. Why? What is that I am? This also many people have confusion. I am that means what? Which? The full sentence of that is, I am that I am. In short, they say, I am that. I am. What is I am? I am is today's subject. I am means I am right now. What I am. When only the soul is expressing, this is what I am. In this moment, being, while I am being, no doer, nothing. I am just being here. This being which is there. This being is that I am, this present moment. That expression of that being is called as I am. In Hindi you can say Main hoon. Just imagine that and see, Main hoon, I am here. Main hoon, I am just here. The pure awareness, I am here. That is what is meant by I am. So there is a miniature I am here. This Atman is saying I am. This Paramatman also is I am, the big one. I am in that pure sense. And you are the miniature of that I am. That is why we say, I am that I am. Do you get that? Many are confused on this term itself, terminology itself. I am, main hoon, this presence, this divine being, eternal being. And there is that God consciousness which is also an eternal being. The moment I realize I am that eternal being, and I know I am not different from that, so I say I am that I am. Jesus Christ said this first. I am not telling you competitively he is, no, he used that word, I am that. Then followed by all the great mystics. Nisargadatta Maharaj spoke so much about I am that, his book only is there, I am that. And then this terminology became very popular. Because when Jesus said that, they said, you are not that. When he said, I am that, he said, no, you are not that. Why should you be that? He didn't mean that. He was telling me, you are that, I am that, everybody is that. So he was trying to tell, when you are sitting and contemplating, you will feel, I am that. People thought he is saying, I am, he is that. This was the same confusion when Krishna said, see, Krishna also said, I am the supreme being. If you offer all your work to me, surrender all your work to me, you will be liberated, whatever that word was. What he was trying to tell, he was not telling a separate identity from God, I am. He was telling Arjuna also, I am that being, that presence of I am. Surrender to that I am. But the whole attention got towards Krishna and said, he said I am, so he is, we worship him. Are you getting that? Krishna said, I am that, I am the supreme. So many even today say that there is no other supreme. Krishna said no, he is revealed, I am God, he is the God. There is no Shiva, there is no Brahma, nothing, Shiva. They will not say there is even Narayana or he is an avatar of, no, he is one and all. Good, that is good for that final ultimatum belief to happen. But what he was trying to say is that I am that I am. And he was trying to say that everybody is that I am. So it's a small catch. If it in the words, if it goes, the whole thing goes somewhere else. And what happens? There is nothing wrong if he becomes. Then what will happen is, then there is no other God. Oh, He is our God, He is our Savior, and I only know Him. I cannot believe there is Allah, I cannot believe there is Christ, I cannot believe there is God, I cannot believe even there is Shiva, only Krishna. Stuck. It's duality, hardcore duality. Because the space that Krishna talked about, I am, is all. I am nothingness and I am everything. I am nothingness when you say I am Shunya. Nothing. No existence at all. Not this, not that, not in particular here and there. I am nothing, nowhere. Shunya, reduced to nothing. And the opposite of that also, he said, I am everything. I am in this also, I am in that also. See, there is no specific, I am only in this. I am only in a Krishna idol. I am not there in a Jesus Christ idol. Wrong. Then he says, I am infinite, omnipresent. He is there in everything, including a pig. That is Advaita. That is what Chidakasha Gita very clearly speaks about. Non-discrimination of any kind. All species, all beings, everything has the presence of the Paramatma. These are little catches. If you don't understand, it is impossible to go within. You cannot see yourself as that self. You cannot meditate in your temple if you do not understand this. That is why this is not a popular subject. That is why Gurudev never spoke about it. He used to only talk to me because I could relate to it. And he knew that's the right thing. So I said, today let me share this. Those who catch it, fine, good for you. Everywhere in the mention, the body has been given lot of weightage. In Christianity, the body has been treated as a temple. Buddhism also, they treat it now. Even Hinduism treats now as, especially Hinduism when it comes to non-duality. Aapko dhyao, aapko bhajo. And what Adi Shankaracharya ji said, Shivmanas Puja, all within. You become the worshipper and you become the worshipped. No difference. People say, how is it possible? It's impossible. How can I do that? See, when Jesus had gone one day to the temple of God, see, there also there is a mention like temple. He had been to the temple. If you pick up the Bible and read, it will say, one day he was passing through the temple, and in the temple of God, see, temple of God means even before Jesus there was a God. So Jesus cannot be a God. He was just a messenger who came and spoke and connected people to, just a mediator who did his work and went, that's all. So when he was walking through the temple, he saw suddenly when he entered, all the priests there had opened up business, lot of business. Some were selling pigeons, some were gambling, some were selling some commodities inside the temple, big temple they used to have those days. And he was bewildered. He said, such dirty work in the temple of God. And he picked up and threw all the tables around. And he took the whip and banged everybody, literally. Jesus Christ was never known to do that kind. He was never violent, but that day he somehow was very violent. And he hit everyone out there. So when literally all the people were driven out from that place, they thought, who is this guy now? Who's challenging us? This is supposed to be our place. We know what to do in the temple of God. We are the mediators. We are the priests here. We will do any business here, whatever we want. If you see in Kali Yuga today, same is happening. There is business in the temples of God. Sheer business, commercial, completely commercialized. Business happening in the temple of God. These are all very deep meaning when this incident of Jesus is mentioned, where he goes to the temple. It is all resembling the same stuff. Business being done in the temple of God. And when he threw people out, they all went mad behind him. Now he became the enemy. Normally, if you see, anybody who tries to expose these kind of businesses becomes their enemies. deadly enemies. They will try to eradicate that person. This is how the persecutions happened. This is how even Jesus Christ got eradicated. Because he challenged the Roman Empire, entire empire. And they were all comfortable, they were all ruling and governing the kingdom there. But he took the guts and courage to speak against something wrong happening there. And they wanted him off, and they did it. Not for long. They did it that time. But after some time, you can see how that same religion just expanded its consciousness and today spread out. Like, I am not comparing which religion, I am just saying, even if it looks very temporary, the after effects of that is very powerful, because that's how these processes begin. Anyways, coming back to the temple, what I was telling, referring to the temple, because this is the clear indication of how I got this idea of temple. So when he was harassed and he was trying, people were trying to get over him, in the temple only, he knew he is going to be persecuted. So he said one thing, he said, destroy this body, destroy this temple, he said, not the body, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I shall raise up this temple again. And then one person asked him, which is there in the Bible recorded, one person asked, 46 years it took to build this temple, and you are going to build it in 3 days, you say? He says, yes, I'll do it. And he leaves from there, and then the whole episode happens where everybody knows how they get him and they try to get him killed and all those things. And what happens when they crucify him, all that, and then he leaves his body, supposed to have left his body, and then when they bring down his body and they put it in a tomb, exactly after 3 days, he heals and restores that body and resurrects with the body. Those days it was like magic. Today we know. Today when we study Jiva Samadhis, today when we know how the avatars actually vanish into thin air, where I have told so many incidences where I have been to places where mystics have just vanished into thin air. Ramalinga Swami is one from Vadalur. Closed the room, vanished, thin air. Jesus Christ was another. He just vanished after his resurrection, came, met his 12 disciples, 11 disciples, gave them the last word, and with his body ascended. Sant Tukaram in Dehu, Maharashtra, suppose they said from the Vaikunta that this came, the carriage came to take him. So that's a flowery way of saying, but he also ascended with his body, Tukaram. And the mystic which I told about in Murthal, Haryana, whom I had gone, and that whole thing, if you know, it's fine. That episode where the Jiva Samadhi is there of Kalleshwar Baba, who was a mystic 400 years back, he just vanished into thin air in that room where I meditated. And then another mystic I met outside, who is supposed to be living for 400 years, and they say it is him only. Today it's possible. Today everybody knows this is possible. But those days it was like magic. Oh, Christ ascended. So now if we study and see, the same thing happened. So his body was there. He had not died. He had just moved into his Sukshma Sharira, and they were killing his Sthula Sharira. They killed his gross body while he was in the subtle bodies, and this was revealed to be my master. One day he just told me, do you know what happened to Christ? I said, what happened? He did not suffer even so much. I said, how is that possible? Bleeding and so much they show. That is all that portrayed in that way. Yeah, bleeding, all those things happened, but he never had even this pain. I said, how? How is that possible? He said he had moved himself into his Sukshma Sharira. He was not in his Sthula Sharira, and what they were doing was in the Sthula Sharira. So when they saw the body is dead now, they brought the dead body and they put it in a tomb and put 2 soldiers there to guard it. Now who had moved into the Sukshma Sharira got back into the Sthul Sharira and rejuvenated his body. They are immortals. These are all immortal beings, rejuvenated and healed in 3 days, and with the body resurrected out of that. And then they saw the tomb door open, and then they went inside. Nobody is there. what he had told, what Christ had told in the temple of God there. You break down this body and in 3 days I shall raise this temple. Not body, you break down this temple. They all thought they are talking about that temple. That if you destroy this temple, temple of God, it will be resurrected back, he said. And they said, how is it possible? He was referring to this temple. This temple of God you destroy, in 3 days I shall resurrect it. That is the power of that immortality. If they want, they can do it. And this is the same temple that I am talking about today. So, with this understanding and with this knowledge of all these things, I was doing my practice while I was in Delhi, where I used to enter my own self. I am this temple. I started seeing this as a temple during my meditation. This whole being as a sanctified being, chamber of the divine sanctorium. And then the me again, walking into that Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha is your heart space. When walking into that being and sitting there and meditating on the eternal flame. Eternal flame is the divine consciousness. Nothing, no form, nothing. That is the same Paramatman what we are talking, and this Atman is sitting here. So Atman is merging with the Paramatman. It is a very powerful, I am telling you, I am revealing one of the most powerful Advaitic practices for self-purification, towards self-realization, all these things, it's one and the same. So sitting in the own chamber of one's own temple and being present there and becoming one with that divine flame of consciousness, there is no difference between Atman and Paramatman. It's all one. And the whole temple is illumined by this light. If you see the photograph that I put for this today's this as a man whose light is emanating from this heart space, is the same. When your inner sanctorium is illumined, this light starts then illuminating the whole sanctorium, and slowly the flame of that divine consciousness starts spreading into all your beings. You call that Sthula Sharira, you call that Sukshma, everything, it starts spreading and purifying it. Depending on how your intensity and how your connection and of your experiences and how strong your awareness is of that, how much can you be aware of that divine flame within you and the divine flame that is engulfing the whole body and the whole mind and the whole of other subtle bodies. The more you do it, the more beautiful things you will see happening, more divine things you will see happening. I thought only I knew this. I was doing this personally in my own being, because I remember somewhere once the master had spoken about it, once the inner temple something, and I remembered my whole life was on this, about the Christ and things, and I started doing it. And I thought only I was aware, until after many long, I mean months or years later or something, he hinted back to me that it's a very good practice, do it. And he was telling somebody else also that this is the space, this is the heart space where you go, sacred chamber, you sit and you become one with that chamber. Your temple is your body is your temple, and you are sitting inside the temple. That is what I said. You see on that profile, he had recently just sent a quote across on this same. But trust nothing, trust only in him that is sitting inside the temple, he said, the master said. And he shall take care of everything. Become one with it. It's a powerful message, powerful reminder, I should say, rather. I had forgotten that for some time. And then it came to my mind, yeah, one of the most powerful. Because what I talk is all Advaita. I am telling you to connect within the consciousness. People around the master will say, no, that you have to connect there. And the master himself will say, you're right, connect within. It's there. They are self-realized. They are beyond all these things. They want others also to experience what they have experienced. They don't want to keep anybody stuck to idol worship and human worship. There is no wrong in idol worship or human worship, but I told you the glitches. You go to a temple, temporary. Only for that moment you will experience. But if you illuminate and if you enlighten and awaken the God within you, you will be illumined all the time. Which do you prefer? All the time or temporary? Once in a year, twice in a year, or when you see a video, when you see a quote, when you see a teaching, when you see a reminding, only that time some bubbles erupt out of you, and then you are back into the samsara, back into the Maya Jagat. The light of awareness that I talk about is the light of this divine flame. Only when this is illumined, your awakening can happen, and that awareness can be awakened all the time. Because that consciousness that is all the time, radiating. It radiates throughout your being. You are a walking temple. Imagine that. You are a walking temple, you are a talking temple, you are a eating temple, you are a sleeping temple. You learn how to respect your own body and mind. I have seen so many people who have been so traumatized with their lives, all their life. Whatever trauma they have come up to, they disrespect their bodies. They can't look at themselves. They can't stare into the eyes of themselves in the mirror. They can't take their own selfies. Because they don't love themselves. They have forgotten to love themselves. They have somehow not liked what they have been or what they have undergone, and they cannot see themselves. It is our duty to show them the beauty back to them. They are beautiful in every way. How can the beauty be seen? By only this inner flame. This inner consciousness has to be awakened. This has to be enlightened. Then that flame will radiate. It will radiate through your skin, it will radiate through your eyes, it will radiate through your being, and that beauty will radiate out of you. Trust my words. That charm will be seen on your face, that charm will be seen on your body. There will be grace in the way you walk, there will be grace in the way you talk, there will be grace in the way you live. Not only you will feel graceful, even others who are with you will feel that grace, will be inspired to be like that. Where is that coming from? The inner consciousness which has awakened. And when will that awaken? Only when I learn to turn within. Till the time it is outside, this is not going to happen, because it is only one directional, either you go there or you come here. You try doing this and see. Today, just in the end, we will try doing a little session on this. You try doing this for a long time and see, for some time, and see how your skin changes, how your face changes, how your body changes. Mark my words, I am telling you. Do this and see, because that is the power of that inner consciousness. Suddenly you will become beautiful. The beauty that you have lost, that you feel you have lost, it is not gone anywhere. It can be revived. Only when your being comes alive, that also comes alive. The rest of you also comes alive. And what joy it is to live in that blissfulness, that lightness, that peace, that cheerfulness, that happiness all the time. You will refuse to be boggled by anything that comes from outside, because your inner chamber is always lit. Your master does not exist anymore outside. I am sorry to say. He is no more. For me, he is no more outside. I am one with him, he is one with me in this art space. It is the same concept, my dear. When you realize I am the Atman, and when you realize Atman and Paramatman is one only, there is no difference, you and Paramatman become one. When you and Paramatman becomes one, when I am Shiva, you can say or realize that, where is the Guru in all this? You think he is outside Shiva? He is the mediator who brought you and Shiva together. He is the mediator who made you realize that you, the self, Atman, is not different from the Paramatman, the higher self. And so when you merge, you first have to merge with the mediator, the one who showed you that. You cannot bypass this and go like this. It's impossible. All those who have a master will see that first they fall in love with the master, they merge with the master first. And who is the master? The master is always already merged with that Shiva Tattva, the God consciousness. Merging with the master is as good as merging with the Shiva consciousness. What difference? Same thing. And once you have become union, once, where will you see him outside? Where can you see him outside? It can never happen after that. And it's an irreversible state, I am telling you. It's not that you just have a glimpse and then you come back and then you feel. No, you cannot. You cannot relate with anything outside. There is no dvayat then. There is no duality that you can see in this connection. It's completely within. So, which do we prefer? That temporary once a year or once a lifetime or once a month or week or whichever video one comes and then you are connected and then you are lost again. Until you see something, hear something, you cannot be connected with a guru. What kind of a relationship is that? What if that being is installed within and he is shining, the same master and the same God? No difference, it's all the same. Shining from within, and there is no difference between God, master, you, and everything is like you don't know whose word you are speaking or whose word is guru's or what is coming from God. It's all one, it's all mixed up, jumbled up. This is what Bhagavan Ramana also said. The self and the guru and the God are not different, they are all one and the same. They cannot be different. And he explained this very well. People ask, then what is that master that comes outside? He said, that is when you don't have the capacity to understand this and you are always running outside. Give me food, give me money, give me this, give me that, pleasure, hunting, always outside, dreams outside, fulfillment outside. And that time you had to be given some God realization, then somebody outside only has to be presented so that you can catch that and relate, oh, there is a master, I can now connect to that master. Now I understand. Why? Because I see a film, I understand. I get to eat something, I relish the taste of it. I need the panchindriyas to gratify and tell me this is real. So I need something in that Maya only to come there. This is all Maya only. In that Maya, another Maya comes and that tells me, and I believe, yes, now I can hear you, I can see you, I can touch and feel you. Now I can connect. So now I start listening. That's the play of Maya. That's called the divine Leela, Leela of God. Because you are stuck in the Leela, he has taken the Leela seriously, so he has to send somebody in the Leela only, another Leela he has to play, so that you take that person seriously. And what is the work of that person? To show you this is a Leela, get within. Because this is your ultimate journey, not the things outside. Even the master will perish, which you see outside will perish one day. It's going to change. You will change, everything will change, but what will not change? Your consciousness will not change. The master's consciousness will not change. So if that is united one and become one, it's the same consciousness which is eternal, which is called as Nitya. Anything that changes or perishes is Anitya, including the physical bodies. Anitya. Upanishad says this, I don't say this. That is what Bhagavan Ramana explained properly. These are all the lower part of spirituality. Starting, he said these are the starting ladders where you need all that. But what if I say people climb the ladders and then they don't want to let go of the ladder. They want to stay on that and they want to dangle and balance and then say, now what, now what, now what? Move ahead. Oh, I can't raise my foot out. I cannot. I am attached to this ladder. I am scared. If I lead this ladder, what will happen? Take the plunge, you will see. I put a nice quote that other day on one of the profile, which said, the bird is telling, the little bird is telling, before it is taking a dive, what if I fall and die? And the mother bird is telling, oh, but darling, what if you fly? The small bird is telling, what if I die? The mother bird is telling, oh, darling, what if you fly? That is what the Guru does. Master does that. I remember the master once told me, when he was very harsh with us. That time I used to get very agitated and very long. I think in 2013 he told me this. He told me, if you want to be with me, you have to learn this one concept. I am not here to make, I am not here to make mouses and rats. I am here to make like birds and tigers. He says, if you want to soar like the eagle, unattached and free, then I am that one which will make you fly. And he had told it in a different state of consciousness, through an email that too, because I was very disturbed on why is he doing what he is doing and all that stuff. So that was the first time he installed that seed that this is not permanent, which you are so much tied up to and attracted to. If you are going to be around with me, I am that person who will make you an eagle, make you soar in the skies alone. The mother eagle does not chase the eagle. Once the eagle flies out of the nest, the eagle parents only will watch and train it, and then it will not go behind that eagle and say, where is my son or daughter going and how can I take care of it, or who will take care of me. They know that nature will take care of them, they will not go behind. That is the quality of the birds. He said, when the tiger also is trained, the cub is trained. The tiger is very much there, training the cubs. And once the cub learns to hunt and is independent, the tiger never goes again. In the start, it will bring it food, but after a certain time, even if the young one is dying without food, it will stay and watch. It will not go and feed it after a certain age. That is how animals make their little ones stronger. Survival of the fittest, you can call it. I don't know, I lost that quote that I had made. I had made that very beautiful quote that master is sitting and there is an eagle flying and there is a tiger here, and that he had told some examples. So I had made water and all that, and I put that quote. I am not getting it. 2013, somewhere it has gone. I hope I find it. If I find it, the day I find it, I will put it on that Jacob Shivanand profile. Those were his exact words. I can't find it. So what does it mean? It means the same thing. It means not giving too much importance about that attachment and making somebody bound by that. But it's very hard. It's very, very hard for the world to understand this, especially when they are so scared to death. Every step they are scared. Every moment living in fear is as good as dying every moment. Cannot be free at all. Mind is never free. And where does this come from? These limited understandings. You do not know who you are. And you do not want to also know who you are. Remain in the scare. Who can do anything? Good luck to you. So this is what Jesus meant by, in 3 days I shall raise my body. He was talking about his own body and his temple, treating his own body as a temple of God, where the God resided within. So being, the word being, human being, supreme being, see that there is a being there. Being is what? That मैं हूँ, being, I am. Supreme being also says, I am just there, that's all, pure presence. You are also that being. So today's word is being, and today's title that I gave was being in your temple. 2 ways, the being that I am, the cosmic being that I am, the self being that I am in this temple, the being in this temple, or in other English words you can say, be in your temple. So being in my temple, I am being in my temple, I am at my temple, being in my temple. So both ways. Those who do not understand this, it's okay, but those who understand it grammatically can find the difference and the similarity. There is difference, but there is similarity in that. So, whether you become the whole being in your temple or you are being whoever. Now, when you say you be at your temple, who is that you? The false I. The false I, the egoic mind, the I, the me, the mine one, which has got the false personality, this name, identity, form, and all this, and I believe I am this, which I am not this, I am the soul. Okay, I live in this. Let us say we are practically living in this understanding that I am this body, I am so and so, I am working. That comes very naturally. That also you can change a different approach. When you sit for your meditation, you see this being only, the impure being only, which has got all the flaws only, now getting up. This is all within in awareness. You are sitting in meditation and you are seeing this impure being walking into the inner sanctorium of this being, of this temple. This whole temple, Garbhagriha, this is the Garbhagriha. Walking in there, you can experience, you can feel that, like you are walking in and you are sitting inside in the Garbhagriha, and in the Garbhagriha is God's light. That is where the what you call the deity is, the Ishta Devata is. So, it is all full of light, and you are walking in and sitting in the light and meditating on the light. So, that impure being is meditating on the light. There are two here, but no problem. That is the starting. Many people who cannot understand how, where am I being and how can I, okay, you can start with this process. That there is this being, this false I, this impure me. As soon as you sit, you are seeing that you are going in, and whatever your bhava takes, like you are seeing yourself leaving everything outside and walking in, going into that holy space, and be with me. Okay, be in awareness while I am doing this. You will start sensing it. So, you are sitting in this position, you can start feeling it also, no problem. You are sitting in this position, comfortable position, and then you are seeing the you, the one with the faulty one, the egoic one, or whatever you call it. If you find it very difficult for you to get purified, you see yourself as the faulty one, getting up, walking straight into the steps of your heart, inner being, and treat this as an entire Garbhagriha, the inner sanctorium, where inside the sanctorium there is nothing but light. Don't fall into idols, don't see a Shivalinga there, don't see a mother there, don't see a Meru there, don't put any object there, because that we are trying to remove duality. God is light, we all know that. Even the sacred Sri Vidya, even the sacred Bible, Quran, all speak about God as light, pure light. See that light in the Garbhagriha emanating from there, and you walking into that light space and sitting in the light, in the middle of the light, where the light is emanating from. If you see Chidambaram, Chidambaram does not have anything. There is a space there and there is an emptiness. Chidambaram, the Chidakasha, Ambaram, Ambar is sky, Chidambaram, Chittambaram, that Chidambaram, that only is resembling the temple. So, if you go to the temple of Lord Nataraja in Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu, you will see there is a Nataraja statue kept there, but behind that there is an empty space, which is the Garbhagriha, nothing in there. So, that is symbolizing the nothingness in that. God is nothing. See, that is the highest secret in Chidambaram, nothingness, omnipresent, the one that is eternal, Nirakara. See, Nirakara, no form. So, it should not be very hard for you if I am telling you this. It is there in your temples, whichever belief you have. Lord Shiva's temple, this is the final truth. The Chidambaram is the last tattva of the Akash tattva. That is the final secret. That is why it is called the Chidambar Rahasya. If you read documents, go Google after this session and read Chidambar Rahasya, Chidambaram Rahasya, secret of Chidambaram. It is this only. Everybody is gone and they are still finding there is some secret. It is not been decodified. That is some Rahasya in that and all that. Rahasya is this. That God is nothing in that space. So, that is why it is called as a secret. That is the final realization that God is Nirakara. But people are still seeing some akara in that, and they are saying something must be there somewhere, and they are trying to find some akara in the nirakara. That's where the catch is. So treat this as Chidambaram. Treat this as the Chidambaram of your inner space, and you walking into that space, nothing, where there is nothing, where there is only light, and you going and sitting right inside there. Why are you sitting inside? Because you are worthy. That is the first symbol. You enter into any Tamil Nadu or Hindu temples, you need worthiness. Almost all the Garbhuras, 99% of the temples don't allow people into the Garbhura, because that is supposed to be very sacred, very sacred. Very sacred. For me it is ulta. I believe, what kind of sacredness is that, where if an impure person like me goes inside and that becomes impure? Because the whole idea is that it's a sacred space, it should be kept sacred, so no unsacred or impure persons or things should come into that, any dirty thing. See, that is how our conditioning is also. Everywhere we see, we have that attitude of that bhava of sacredness. So that worthiness, when we don't have, we don't feel worthy, only all these kind of ideas will come, and world will fill us with such thoughts. Like I told you in Vijayananda Swami's ashram, when I was there, that Guru Paduka, me trying to keep the food there, and he said, it's in your mind, that sacredness. He said, bhava shuddhi karo. And I was thinking, this bhava is great, that I worship it in this manner. He said, that is all fine till a certain stage. Beyond a certain stage, you have to even discard that bhava. When you are one with those things, when you literally, you are not believing, you are not thinking, then you can't do it. When you are actually living that experience of oneness, you will not feel these formalities. I am telling you. I am telling you this. That formality will never come. There is something separate. These formalities of inner, outer will not come. That is why I don't care where boards are written about inner sanctorium allowed, or if there is a possibility, I will go. And they say you should not touch this, I will touch. Not to challenge them, but when they don't see, I will touch, because I know I am worthy enough for that. You go to a Tamil Nadu temple, or you go to Ramana Maharishi's Samadhi, people will not bow down like this, they will bow down horizontally. If the sanctorium is here, they will not bow like this, they will bow this side, perpendicular. Oh, we can't, we shouldn't. And whenever I get the opportunity, I lie straight beyond, I look straight into it. I am worthy of my Lord. This is the belief system that has been worthiness. Actually, technically speaking, in some way it is true, because if a person who is uninitiated, who has not worked with energies, and if they go, they cannot at times tolerate the tej of that place, sanctorium or a divine being. It can boggle them up. So that is why, to avoid that, they take it perpendicularly, so that it doesn't hurt them. It can hurt if it is too powerful. That belief wise I understood, it's all fine. But worthiness, no, I don't trust that. And we are people of Shakti, we are people who are working with energies all the time. So for the people who have been in Kundalini sadhana, who are doing these kind of practice, it's okay. If you can tolerate it, fine. That's on your own confidence level, but it has nothing to do with the superstition that people have put there, myths. And indirectly it is your worthiness. If you feel you are an unworthy person, you will never go to do that. You will never feel like entering a temple. You will say, no, I don't want to go today. Or today, aaj ye din hai, no. Abhi main naya nahi hu, nahi nahi hu, I have not taken my bath, I cannot go there. I cannot go to a temple. I have not lit up the agarbattis today, and so I cannot think. I have anything people do. First, I cannot have tea and go into the temple. First let me have the darshan of the Lord, and then I will have tea. You think the Lord will punish you for having tea and coming to Him? Is He sitting with all these petty things? As though He has no other work, to sit who is drinking tea before who is disrespecting me. A God will never feel disrespected egoic person will feel disrespected. Oh, मेरी तौहीन की, ऐसे तुम्हारी हिम्मत कैसे हुई ऐसे करने की, हाउ डेयर यू डू दैट टू मी. दैट ओनली a egoic person can do. Unconditional God cannot do that, my dear ones. Please understand this. These ideas have been filled in by people who are living in the egoic tendencies. They love to be treated that way, so their God also is that way. My God is not that way. My God is beyond all formalities. He doesn't care of any damn thing. He sees only bhava. I was traveling in the train and there was a family next to me, and nice pious, they had gone to Goa, husband, wife and kid, and they were roaming around and all holy places. They were going to Murdeshwar. I was going to Mokambika that time. So they asked me where. They told about theirs, and then we started talking about these places and things and all that. And then he was telling about how we should, the traditions are so powerful, our culture is so powerful. Even the boasting of that culture is another part of ego only. This is so strong, and then somebody does something, you get hurt here. Hey, usne aise kaise ki? Your ego is being hurt. That God has no problem. So he was telling, nahi, you should have little manners when you go there. Nowadays people are going with this, in this manner they go, that manners they go. Girls are going in shorts or minis, and Tamil Nadu, this temples have put it very clear. You cannot come with bare legs and bare hands. We will fold you in a pitambar and send you if you want. Otherwise, go, and they will not allow you, especially foreigners, if you are wearing revealing dress. That's all good for the society. That is not for God. God is not going to be bothered by anybody's minis, who's wearing mini skirts or all that. He is not, nothing to do. People will get bothered. People will get distracted. Are you getting it? The people who are coming with one pointedness, they might get distracted somewhere else. For them, understood. But if you tell me God will mind it, I cannot take that. Females with menstruation should not enter a temple. Who damn told that? God will be angry. Or the female is dirty. How can that be? You are born out of that. You are born out of that dirt then. How can the women's menstruation period be dirty? How can that female itself be considered dirty? What a disgrace to our mothers from where we are born. How can it be dirty? And dirty created by God itself. I asked that person, you are saying all this, that women should not be sent, on these days and all. I said, next to Shiva, Parvati is sitting. She is also a mother. She has created Shishti. She has also children. So she has to have that menstrual thing. It's all there in the Shishti, right? So how come? How come Shiva has no problem with her and she is meditating 30 days a month? Who has made these rules? Men have made it because men find it dirty. They don't allow the women to attend the kitchen on those days, in old days. Understood, it was for hygiene, very good, understood. Those days, old days, there was no proper sanitation methods and all that. Okay, fine, understood. So it could litter or it could dirty things and all that. So they wanted to keep it, understood. But for that you cannot call that woman dirty. It's a process. And if they said with respect, okay, you are going to rest today, you are not going to do any other thing, because today you are going to be restful, because it's for your well-being, for your physical body, understood. But because you feel that, it will pollute the environment, it will pollute the food, it will pollute the nature of everything, that's crap. That's the heights of superstition. So he was trying to educate me on that. I asked him question, he was dumb, he couldn't answer me. So where are these people learning this from? And so prideful of the culture. He was boasting about the pride all the time. Then he told about the sanctity of the Garbhagriha. I said, I have had problems in some Tamil Nadu temple. They don't even allow me to go near that Garbhagriha and all that. And they have written somewhere boards, non-Hindus not allowed and all that. Non-Hindus for Hindus. The God who is sitting within has no Hindu, Muslim. The Nirakara, can he have a religion and caste? The same Shiva, which is worshipped by the Bhutaganas and the Devaganas both. Bhutaganas, imagine, all the evil beings are worshipping, and he has no problem there. He is blessing them. He gave boons and blessings unconditionally to Ravana also and to Ram also. How they utilized and what they did with it, their own karma. He gave what he had to give. He will never differentiate. If we are the Ravana or we are the Ram, that's our problem. And if Ram kills Ravan and Ravan has a fight with him, problem with him, that's all their dramas. The Lord has nothing to do with it. You ask for it, you get. Seek and you shall receive. Simple. Simple and clear understanding. He was telling me about Garbhagriha. You should not. That is the, they did right with you, you are not supposed to. I said, no, I don't believe in that. Oh no, you don't know, they clean it 10 times, oh, they do the worship, they keep it so clean and so pure that the space is kept, that anybody should not go and make it impure. I said, what kind of a God is that if one little impure being goes and the whole thing becomes impure? What kind of a God is that you are telling? God means any kind of negativity comes, it should be able to dissipate it. Any kind. That is God. Isn't God that powerful? One tiny being going there with some dirt in his mind or her mind, on the body or mind, and the whole Garbhagriha goes for this. He was trying to, he felt that, the truth in that, but he was not finding words to, but he was not ready to take that. So he went on again, no, this, that, justifying. Then I said, okay, in Sri Shailam, if you see, I have been there many times to Sri Shailam, and I have done more practices than you are talking about. You have done it theoretically, I am telling you I have practically done it. Sri Shailam, I have been there. Sri Shailam is a place which is the Vayu Tattva, Vayu Linga. And there, how the Linga came into place, if you study the history, you will know. I asked him, do you know? He said, I don't know. Good, then I know. Can you listen? He said, go ahead. I said, it is the story of that hunter who was living in that jungle in Sri Shailam. And there was the Shivalinga in the dense jungle, and every day one Brahman priest used to come and worship it, clean it, very like what you are saying, everything, wash it 10 times. What kind of a God is that, that need 10 times bath to be purified? That is human beings, my dear, not God. That is your bhava that you are doing 10 times, 20 times. But do not spread that wrong thing to people. God is not that way. If he was that way, then answer me about what happened in Sri Shailam. Why did this happen? Can you answer me? He said, go ahead, tell me. Then I said that Brahman priest used to every day clean and keep it very sacred. And one day he went out to his lunch, and when he came back, he saw meat there. Fresh meat of an animal, just killed animal, blood oozing, the meat fresh, raw meat, kept on the Shivalinga. He was disgusted. He immediately brought a stick and threw the things away, and he washed and washed. He brought from the sacred river and he washed that Shivalinga, the whole Garbhagriha, fully, completely washed it. And then he bowed down to the Lord and asked for forgiveness. Whoever has done this, please forgive them and all that. And then he continued with his puja. Next day the same thing happened. He went for his lunch, came back, again meat there. So now he was like, who is this doing such a big sin to the Lord? See, sin to the Lord. Then he tries to observe, watch who is this, and then he sees there is this poor hunter who is a big bhakta of Shiva, great devotee of Shiva. He loves him like his life, own life. He doesn't know any formality, nothing. He just knows, I love my Lord. And then one day when he finds the Shivalinga, he is very happy. He says, oh my God, in this jungle I never knew, and I am a hunter. He kills for his food. And he doesn't know, he is so excited, he is so happy to see that Shivalinga. He says, what can I offer you, my Lord? You have come here. And in that happiness, he runs out, what gift to bring. And what gift can a hunter bring? He is hunting. He kills a deer and cuts tears off the leg and then brings it with full oozing with blood and all, and keeps it there. This is Lord, my gift for you. What? How can I serve you better? And then he knows there is Abhishekam done. Then he says, I don't have a pitcher, I don't have a bucket to bring water from the river. And he wants to do Abhishekam. He's so excited. He goes to the river and he cannot find anything. Then he takes water in his mouth and comes running to the Shivlinga and spits on it, the water. And he does with his bhava, the Abhishekam. Now when the priest sees this, he is horrified. He comes and he throws everything, and then he cleans everything, and he is like crying. He is so hurt. His ego is hurt. The Lord is not hurt. He is feeling bad for the Lord. The Lord has no problem. And this goes on, and one day the Lord is so pleased. Shiva is said to be so pleased with this hunter that while he is sitting there in front of the Shivlinga, after offering the meat and sitting there and trying to meditate on this Lord, the Lord appears there and blesses him. And he is so happy to see. He is unconditional. He has nothing else to ask from the Lord. He just wanted his darshan and he got it. And the Lord knew his mind. He has nothing. The Brahmin priest has a lot of things, lots of conditions, and there were reasons why he was doing a lot of stuff. And he knew it. Whose bhava is what? Actually, the story it goes little more intense. I just missed out that part. First the meat, then the blood, then the water on his mouth, and now he was not having enough. He was sitting one day, the Shivlinga, which has got two eyes, two eyes. They make the Shivlinga and they put the two eyes to just give life to it. So that eyes are there in this, and when he is watching, he sees one eye is, the blood is oozing from there. He is like perturbed. He says, oh my Lord, what happened to you? Your eyes are bleeding. And he sees it's fully bleeding. He says, oh my God, my Lord's eye is gone. And he doesn't know what to do. He says, I'll don't worry, I'll give you my eye. And he takes the arrow from his quill and he plucks out his eye and he puts that eye there and he sees the bleeding stops. And he is so overjoyed. He is bleeding. He is overjoyed. He said, my Lord has got his eyes back. Very happy. And then he sees the other eye is bleeding. Now he says, no, I can't bear this. So he takes the arrow and plucks out the other eye. Now he doesn't know where, if he plucks out the eye, he cannot see the Shivlinga. So he knows that if I take off this eye, I cannot see it. So he keeps his leg on the other eye and plucks this eye, and then he tries to keep it, and immediately, boom, Shiva appears there. He is immensely pleased. That is the temple, the significance of the temple. So I asked this man, you are telling about cleaning it 10 times and Hindus, non-Hindus, Muslims are not allowed here, or even Hindus are not allowed, impure people. What is this story tell about? He has no botheration. See to the extent of what he kept his foot on that. He didn't bother. There was no difference between him and Shiva. There is one picture which was there of Nityananda. They have taken it off. Probably it created some ruckus or something. Where Nityananda has put his leg on the Shivlinga and is standing in the Bhimeshwar Linga in Ganeshpuri. That was seen by some people when they entered suddenly. He is standing with 1 foot on the Shivlinga. People get offended. There is no offense. It is to show they are one. He is an avatar. That is why he is called Parabrahma. He wanted to demonstrate that I am that I am. There is no difference between these two. Very mystical, right? Only the people who are walking on the path of Advaita, oneness, non-duality will understand this. The journey, actual journey of the self begins from here. If you cannot reach to this state, never think that in duality you are going to realize the self. It is very difficult to realize the self. When you are seeing differences everywhere outside, when you are seeing you different, your Guru miles apart, you here, your God eons apart, where is that I am that I am? Where are you going to realize this, and where are you going to feel this is one with that? Very difficult. I don't understand the concepts of how the world is working towards self-realization. I can't see it. I can't understand that concept. Maybe it's a good thing, for some time you feel something like that, but in the longer run you will again come back to the duality. Then you will need again somebody to teach you that temporary thing where you get try to get one with that. So that is why in the Bible also it is said, as above so below. As above so below means whatever is up there is same down here also. It's a manifestation, the microcosm and the macrocosm, the same thing. What is there in the larger part of the cosmos is there in the deep within also. You turn inward, you go inward, it is the same journey deep inside. You go outside, it is the same journey outside. So when you go outside the macrocosm, when you go inside the microcosm, when you go outside you say it is infinite. I am there everywhere, I am everywhere. The self is everywhere, God is everywhere. I am everything, I am in everything. God says, I am in this, I am in that, I am this and that. And when you turn and you go within, I am in none of this, neti, 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 not this, not this, not this, and I go within, then I go to nothingness. See, you go outside and you retract back. Both are true. Both goes one and one. That is why the theory of macrocosm and the microcosm. Macrocosm, microcosm. Out, in. External, internal. Outward, inward. Dvait, advait. Are you seeing it? When you go inside, when everything is nothing here, you attain that shunya. When you go infinite, you are in everything, you attain the omnipresence. Both works. So in Bible it is said, as above, so below. There is a prayer also in Christianity. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy be your name, your kingdom come, thy will be done as it is, like on heaven, whatever is there in heaven, that will be done here also in heaven, earth also. As above, so below. Whatever is there is here also. The entire cosmos that you see, the whole cosmos is within. You look outside, you will see 7 musical notes. You will hear Satrangi, the sound of 7 notes, the 7 rainbows, rainbow colors. These are all outside. The 7 significance of 7. You go within, you will find inner your 7 chakras. You go outside, you will find Navagrahas, 9 planets, major 9 planets. You go within, you will find the Navadwar, the 9 orifices. They are all significant. Everything has got resemblance. Out, what is out is within. So when you try to understand this, there is nothing different. It's all the reflection. The inner reflection of these 7 tattvas only. You go outside, there is a big, large 7 things outside. That is why 7 chakras have got 7 musical notes. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. 7. And each chakra is on one note. Sa is to your Muladhara, Re is to your Swadhisthana. It goes on that way. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. Ni, if you see, the frequency is very high. Re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. Hear this sound, it's a very high frequency. Ni. And the low frequency. Muladhara is low frequency. Sahasrara is very high frequency. The woman who told me, I am hearing the ching noise in my one ear. That is that frequency, high frequency which she is hearing. And the ching sound also is same. You will never hear a high frequency sound like here in the ears. Never. Why? Because it's a high frequency sound. Very high frequency. So all this has got inner result. Somebody asked me one day, how when you say about awareness, you are going outside. The koshas, you become aware of your surrounding, your koshas, then into the room space, then you go outside and you go into the cosmos. How can that be when we are trying to go inside? Now you will get it. When you are going outside, how can you go inward? Outside is inward, there is no difference. You do anything on the outside, it will work on your inside. You work on the 7 musical note outside using your 5 sense panchendriyas, and immediately you will see the stones are resonating in your chakras. The effects will start happening in the chakras. That is music therapy. People do music therapy. Why? They induce a certain kind of signals and sounds of a certain frequency which will affect that kind of chakra there inside. It alters your consciousness inside. See, you do something outside, it is altering inside. Same is awareness, what I am telling you. Whatever awareness you do outside, it goes inwardly. There are 2 school of thoughts. One says, this is your Annamaya Kosha, then they say Pranamaya Kosha, then the Manomaya Kosha, then the Jnanamaya Kosha, and then the Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss body, outside. It all goes outside. But there is also a school of thought which trains people, it is inside. Like the physical body is here, inside one layer is the etheric body, inside that is one more layer is the mind body, Manomaya Kosha, inside that is the Jnana or the intellectual body, wisdom body, and then deep inside the core is Anandamaya Kosha. That core only is the self. When you reach the self, you attain Ananda, which is why it is called Satchidananda, Nityananda. When you touch that space, innermost space, innermost is that Anandamaya Kosha, your bliss body. If you see, you work anyways, you go within or you go outside, you are getting the same effect, any way you do, because it is again a reflection, macrocosm and the microcosm. I hope I have answered your question, whoever had this. I think 2-3 weeks passed, I couldn't answer, but now I remember that. It doesn't matter which way you work, but the effect will be the same. Actually, there is no bliss body. There are some fine tuning that is needed now also, because I also was thinking of all this, because normally in the school of thoughts all these are trained, but when you go deeper and you reach the highest scriptures, you will see that certain things are not what we have told. Okay, for beginners it is good, like there is nothing called bliss body. Bliss body is the self. Anandamaya Kosha, if you see, there is nothing to work on that Kosha. You might work on the other koshas. Physical body will work, mental body will work, etheric body will work, the wisdom body will work. Till there you can work, but you cannot work on the Anandamaya Kosha, because the moment you touch that, that is bliss. Anandamaya, that is. So actually that Kosha, that soul only is called that bliss body. But normally it will not be taught that way in the schools of the whatever the Kundalini schools are. But by experience you will come to know that it is not that way. Same way there is, they say 4 states of consciousness. One is the Jagrita Avastha, the wakeful state. Next is the Swapna Avastha, the dream state. Third is the Sushupti Avastha, which is the deep sleep state. Everybody in their whole life is always living in these 3 states of consciousness. When we are awake, Jagrita. When we go to sleep, we have the Swapna, that is dream. And when we don't have dreams, we go into deep sleep, that is Sushupti. And then we again wake up. So 3 states of consciousness a normal regular person lives. An awakened being starts becoming aware of these 3 states of consciousness. These are the secret. What I am telling you are the secrets of Tripura Rahasya, simplified. It is not such a complicated thing. When we see Tripura Rahasya, and if you go in the Tantra way, you will think it is too mesmerizing and too deep secrets. It is not, it is very simple, very simple. Tripura, the 3 cities, the story of the 3 cities, Tripura Rahasya, the secret of the 3 cities, these are the 3 cities, these 3 avastha. So normally it is thought that these 3 avasthas are there, and the 4th avastha they start teaching is the Turiya avastha. When you start going deep within and you touch that space of samadhi, the stillness is there, that is known as the Turiya avastha. So, they say there are 4 states of consciousness, these 3 plus the 4th state of consciousness you have to become, you have to go into that. That is how they are told. We are always in the 3. Now, for the 4th to enter, we have to do this, do again, doing. Do this, do this, do this, do this, so that you can enter into Turiya. Then you come back again, then do this, do this, do this, again go and have a glimpse of Turiya, come back, then do, it goes on that process. But I have realized the truth is not that, just recently, in a few months. Because Bhagavan Ramana says, there is only 3 states, the 4th is not there. Turiya doesn't exist, he says. He says, you are Turiya. The real you, the self is always in Turiyatit. Around this 3, the ignorance of these 3 cities have come. The Tripura Rahasya, the 3 cities, that is the actual Tripura Rahasya, that there is no 4th city. The 3 avastha, we are living in that. The moment you become not obvious, not aware of these 3, and you stay centered in yourself, always aware of yourself, which is what he says, whom am I? If you be centered in this, you will see that avastha only is Turiyatit avastha. Turiya avastha, that is, if you remain for a long time connected in that being, for a long time, then you have gone into Turiyatit. You have established yourself in the self. That establishing yourself in the self is known as Turiyatit avastha. So, he says there is no Turiya, there is no 4th state of consciousness. You are that state of consciousness. You are that Atman, is that, but you are only not realizing that bliss. That means what I am trying to tell you is, technically you are Anandamaya Kosha. You have only 4 koshas around you, not 5. Not even 5 that way, if you see only 3. Because you are that in the body that you feel. So, around you the etheric and the mind and the wisdom, only 3 is there. But deep within you, you are the Anandamaya Kosha actually. You, the Atman, the unrealized Atman, is that Turiyatita, is Anandamaya Kosha. When it is realized, when that Ananda is realized, you realize that I am that I am. That is self-realization. So, it is very, very simplified. These secrets are very, very simple, and this is what I am saying. Once you realize this, you will come to know that there is nothing in doing. The more you do, the more you complicate. That is why many people do, yet remain unsatisfied, because they are never established in which they are, what they are. They are always in what they are not. They are always in the mind which they are not. They are always in the body which they are not. They are always in the wisdom sheath which they are not. Who are they? If the self, they are never there established in the self, because we have never been trained and taught to remain abiding in the self. When do we see the self? When these other 3 bodies stop disturbing us. Till the time the man, the sharira and the jnana kosha are active, you can never enter into your self, your soul. And when is this active? The more you give activity. So, you do this thing, who is doing? The body is doing all the time. Do this and that, active. The mind is always doing this and that, thinking, chanting, reciting prayers, doing this, that. It is always engaged in something. So, what is the significance? You are actually giving height to it, weight to it. You are telling that this is the reality, the mind is the reality, because everything is happening here. My mind, my experiences that I get in the meditation, the visions that I see, the sounds that I hear, all this is so real. So, this is my experience. So, I trust more on this, I live in this, which is mithya, which is Maya itself. So, we are actually ingraining and we are strengthening that which is not. Are you getting the catch? This I am realizing in this, and it is so liberating to understand this when the doership stops. Very liberating. And the experience is tangible, I am telling you, which cannot come with so much of doership. Doership, you might go and touch and you come back. Touch and you come back, but you cannot sustain that. I am telling you, practice should be such that it becomes you. In today's post, I saw somewhere Ramana is telling Meditation is not wrong, tapas is not wrong, sadhana is not wrong, spiritual practices are not wrong, but find those that does not boost the ego. Find that kind of a practice that does not allow you to remain giving attention to the thoughts. Find those practices that discards thoughts and ego. Why? Because in that practice only we are established in that. See, after even 10 years, we do everyday sadhana and so prideful we feel. I have been doing for 10 years my sadhana. I have been doing sadhana. I have been doing meditation for so many years. I am a practitioner. 2 hours I can sit. I can do this, do that for 2 hours continuously. So that is why even after 10 days they are still doing only. Because that ego body has become so strong now, it will start even proclaiming and claiming that I am doing this, I am doing. Get the catch? The catch is you cannot realize the self till the ego is there. It's a simple concept. Only when the ego dissolves, only the self can be seen and realized. Ego means what? Separation. Ego means I am separate from that. I have a personal identity. I am the doer. I am this, that. You cannot be I am that, I am with that. You cannot be one with it. I don't know where that idea is coming from. Or if somebody can show me one person who is the doer all the time and who has a bloated ego and is a realized person. Can somebody, if they can show me, I'd be very grateful. We should try to see somebody like that. You watch a mystic, you watch an avadut, you watch somebody who has gone beyond all that and in a complete realized state. You will not find an iota of ego in that. You will not see any kind of doerships and things like that. You see so many masters are there, so many lady saints are there. Anandamayi Ma, you look at her. State of her self-realization, liberated being. Watch those people, you will come to know. Where is ego present? Where is the mind present? Where are they condemning? Where are they claiming something? Where are they talking about I, me, mine all the time? Look at them, you will come to know. Is it there somewhere? If that is there, then it's a doubt for how I cannot see how that and a realized being can. What is the difference between a normal person and realized being then? So these are something which I was forced to look into. I was forced to look, dare and put my courage into and look into those things and contemplate, tap in those masters, that Guru Mandala there who have been that and take help from them. I want to see what is this. I have these doubts and concerns. How can this be this way? Show me that. And things were revealed to me. Then I said, I don't trust this. My mind is telling, my being is telling that this cannot be true. How can these both exist in one plane, the ego and the self-realized? It can never be. How is it possible? Then suddenly all these things started opening up. Ramana's documents came into my hands and started seeing, contemplating. I saw all that thing which was there in my mind opened there, secrets opened. And I said, yes, this was going in my being. I got a confirmation from outside, Guru Mandala. Anytime you connect to the God consciousness, that higher consciousness, and you ask them for the answers, it will be provided. It is not at all possible that you seek and it cannot be given. It is not possible. What you seek, you will get. If you seek these deeper aspects, you will get it. If you are happy with the superficial stuff, what I call this kind of spirituality which is rooted in the ego consciousness, you will find answers there also. What you seek, you will get. Where you seek, you will get. So this is a little more probing on our journey. It is not to condemn something or put down something, nothing to do with who is right, who is wrong. What world does, it will keep on doing. We cannot change that. But when I am walking my path, when I am walking the journey, I need to be enlightened with these truths. I need to be crystal clear of what I am doing, where I am going. And if I see certain things this way and I find it beneficial, I am sharing it to the people. I am sharing it to the people not to blindly believe me. I am saying you don't believe me. Work on this, see on this, experiment on this, you will come to know. You will understand how simple things are. It is not so complicated. And you will come to know it is more in the being, not in the doing. You reduce your doing, all the things will go down. I am not saying that spiritual practice, no, it is all needed. Tapas is needed, sadhana is needed. Like for example, You think Bhagwan Ramana just became enlightened like that? They say he didn't do any practice, he got. They say Bhagwan Nityananda was found in a jungle and from childhood he was roaming around, he did leelas and see, he did not do any practice. No, my dear, he did it hundreds of lifetimes before it was all done. It was all done, it is all needed. Sadhana, tapas, all this, all kind of spiritual practices, including ritualistic worship, devotions, apara bhakti, everything is correct. It is not to condemn anything. On which level who is, it is important from them. They will keep on ascending. But what I am trying to tell is, people who have gone beyond a certain level and still they are feeling stuck, they don't understand the complication. For them, I am trying to make this clear. After going to a certain level, these things will have to be let go on. There are higher truths which you need to proceed. And as you proceed, the way will be open. That is what Rumi said. As you walk, the path will unfold itself. The path will be revealed to those who are just walking on that surrender. So that will happen. So if somebody wants to penetrate deep, they got to go somewhere where everything is revealed, that is within. If you keep seeking out for answers, 10 people will tell you 10 different ways and everything will confuse you. If you need confirmation, go within, travel within. That is what I am trying to say. Live in your temple. Be in the temple. Worship yourself. Worship yourself means not one word, yourself. Your separate self. My self, my soul. Worship that. This also is very difficult for people because how can I worship myself? It's not possible. For that you will have to understand that you are not the Jiva, you are the Jiva Atman, which has an Atman, and the Atman is a quality of God, nothing less than Paramatman. Once that becomes clear, then you will not have any inhibition in going then and worshipping yourself. That is why in the Chidakasha, in the starting only, it is all this is mentioned. You, the Jivatman and the Atman and the Paramatman, so that this doubts clear off in the start only. And then you begin your practice keeping you in mind. So that is why deeper and deeper when you go, the Advaita philosophies and the Atma Bodha, the tattvas of the Atma, the soul realization, all that will keep on revealing it to you that being is another, knowing is another. Knowing is very important. I understand is one thing, I know is another thing. Now, if you tell me at the end of the session, I have understood what you said, no, you are still in your mind. Maybe you have understood, but you have intellectualized it. It has become your intellectual property. It has added knowledge to you. Some knowledge is there. Okay, microcosm, macrocosm. Okay, this is how we know going in then, and there's a temple, and you will understand the concept of it. That is when you say, I understood what you said. But when you say, I know what you said, that comes from a sense of awareness. See, when you are listening to something and your awareness is alert, there is a knowing that happens from your awareness. I know this, what you are saying. So, whenever something appeals to you, yes, what you say is right, what you say is right. Who is that one who is confirming what you say is right? The one who already knew. Only when you know, you can say, yes, you are right. If you did not know, how can you say? You can say, oh, I learned something new. How can you say, I knew that? Yeah, you are right. That knowing, that means that wisdom is within you. Somebody from outside is just triggering it and you are just confirming, yes, you are right. You know it. That knowing is important than understanding. This is the secret I am telling you. If you shift from understanding to knowing through the gift of awareness, you are there. You are there. Because the great Advaitin Master said, knowing is being. Are you seeing that? Knowing is nothing less than being. What I am trying to tell this whole session, being, the art of being, the I am. And what does the Advaitin say? Great mystics say? Great scriptures say? Knowing itself is being. You know means you are in the being. If you understand, you are not in the being. So it's all about this. It's absolutely about this. I know you guys might be hungry now. It's been long now. It's been 2:30 or 2:15. I think by 2:30 we can end it. I'm just trying to see if anybody has any questions here. Anybody has written. Anna Vaspa. You've written a lot here. Oh, these are not questions. These are some statements that you've added. Okay, fine. Okay, so the lesser the questions means you know. So I wouldn't say anybody who has not understood ask something, but in the knowing also, if you have any clarification needed, you can put it here. I'll quickly get into that on today's session only, whatever today you feel. So one of you also had asked what is knowing and what is being the other day. So I think it was Sanjeev. I don't know if you are here. So I answered that also. Knowing is being. What is that knowing and being? For that you will have to understand what is this being. Whole session you will have to see. Then you will come to see that knowing and being is all the one. I am happy to see some people have even signed up for personal consultations on this kind of awareness. I am awed by that because somebody is signing up for 2 or 3 years just to know the deeper truths, and they want to get it into their being. That's something. I mean, people I have seen struggling with something and they want and all, but people are there in this. And there are some who sign up even to understand, like 1 hour somebody signed up to understand about divine Kanyangal. I want to study, I want to come there. She's from some foreign country. I want to come there, I want to stay for a few days. I want to study everything and go there. Sessions for that. Can you believe all these things also? But that's good. That shows how the consciousness and how deeper we are moving towards that soul realization and how strongly we need it. I am telling you, mumukshatva, the mumuksha, the quality of mumuksha means a very intense seeker of liberation. Even Ramana said this, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said this, if you are an intense mumuksha, I cannot call it intense mumuksha. Mumuksha means intense seeker. If you are a mumuksha, then you do not need any element of this earth. Directly you will get help from God. Ramana and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said this. In different words, I don't remember, but they pointed to this. If you have that intense seeking, that same Param Tattva will guide you, help you in some way. Whether you have a master, don't have a master, path, religion, you don't have anything, you are in some remote desert and you are just intensely longing, it will straight come to you in some or the other way. See, this is the confirmation of how eligibility is depending on how intense. I came to this because I saw people are intensely seeking consultation for that. It shows their interest towards the subject, how deeply they want to get there. So it will come to you in some way, not just from here, anywhere it will come to you. You just have to be just aware. That awareness will get help for you. Can we just walk into our inner chamber right now? Just sit in awareness. Just become aware of your full body, the whole body at once, right from the head. Quickly keep moving. Your whole head, face and head, neck, both arms. You will see that whenever I am saying this, suddenly those areas will feel illumined, or suddenly they will feel warm, or suddenly you will become conscious of those parts. So, head, neck, both the arms, hands, palms, the upper chest, upper body, back part of the chest, lower body, that is your tummy, back area. Become aware below down to your genitals, to your buttock areas, to your thighs, to your knees, calves, sole of the feet, whole body. With your eyes open or eyes closed, whatever. Just become aware of it. This is being, you're not doing anything. Okay? You're not doing anything, it's undoing. You're just becoming conscious of your body. The whole body that is living right now, you are just becoming conscious of it. Just notice, if you can, the blood movement. If you can feel the blood movement, feel it, how it runs through your so many countless nerves. Become aware of all your bones that is connecting to each other and making you sit or stand or be in a certain way, move in a certain way. The foundation of your whole body, the whole bones, skeletal system. What covers is the muscles and tissues. Just become aware of it. Right from the head, the scalp covering your skull, the hair sprouting from those scalps, and the whole body. Just try to become aware of little parts like your nails of your hands, both the hands, all the nails. Just become aware of all the nails and the nail bed. See how suddenly there will be some kind of sensation in your nails and nail beds. Just feel. Just see the space between the nail and the nail bed, something that touches it there. The tips of your fingers, all the 10 tips of your fingers, just become aware of your tip of your fingers. You might notice some tingling or sensations happening there. Go to the nails of your toes, all the nails of your toes, become aware of all the 10 at once, the nail bed and the nail. I want you to just observe right now. You have done nothing, you have just become aware, you are shifted into awareness right now, and in that awareness you are just sensing things and just observe. There is not a single thought right now. Just observe, there is no thought right now. All thoughts just dropped. The moment you shifted into awareness, see the magic of it. Everything. Why? Because awareness does not operate in the mind level, it is above the mind. When you leave the mind behind, you are leaving all the distractions behind. You are leaving the ego behind. Ego and the mind are one. Mind is the tool of the ego, instrument of the ego. It works as per the command of the ego. So you rise above it, everything stops, and suddenly you become aware of something beyond. So just see the sensation on your body. What all sensation are you feeling? Do you feel any crawling, itching, any movement, any kind of itch or pain or numbness or tingling or warmth or coldness, stiffness? Just become aware. Don't do anything about it. Don't even say it is stiff. How should I straighten? Nothing. Just observe it. What all can you sense? Can you sense any smell? Can you sense any taste without moving your tongue or mouth? Just the way you are sitting right now. Can you sense any taste, smell? Can you suddenly become aware of your ears, inside your ears, the hollow part of your ears, and what is the ears hearing now? Is there any other sound apart from this voice that you are hearing? Can you hear what is there in your head? What is there in the room or outside the room? Just become aware of your skin. The skin is spread all over your body. Suddenly you will feel your entire sensation on your whole body, because the skin is everywhere on your body. At the same time, become aware of your full body skin. Become aware of the clothes that is touching your skin. What is the sensation that you feel without moving? What is the sensation that you feel? The touch that you feel between the skin and your body, every part of your body, top to bottom, wherever the clothes are touching your skin. Without moving, can you sense what is the texture of that cloth, or what is the sensation of that cloth on your body? Now, this whole being, what you're saying in your skin, is the physical body, and this whole body is what you call as your temple. This is the sacred temple. You might want to do this on a daily basis, 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes every day, so that you can enhance your higher senses and you can increase your divinity and you can awaken the God within you. Treat this whole being, what you're sensing right now, as a very sacred space. Sometimes thought might come to you that I am not worthy, or there is impurities in my body and mind. Doesn't matter. Whatever the impurities, know that God consciousness is never concerned with all that. I gave you enough examples in today's session. Feel the whole body as your temple. Treat it like a temple. How would you treat your own altar or your temple? You would keep it sacred. When you do this, please understand, few things will change in your life every day if you do this practice. You will see that your habits are changing. You will see that you will be more aware of the kind of food that you put into this temple. You will not want to put garbage into it. You will see the way you are treating this body, nurturing this body, nourishing and cherishing this body. You will see how well you take care of it, because it's a sacred temple, nothing less than a temple. The mind body is not different. The mind and body are both together in yourself right now. You will also become obvious of what you are putting in your mind, because the mind is connected to this Garbhagriha, the sacred sanctorium. You will become more and more aware of the things that you put in mind, the content of your mind. Your mind will automatically start dropping the things that are not suiting this sacred self. This is a very powerful process that will do automatically without your doing anything. All that you need to do is become aware of yourself as the sacred sanctorium. If you feel this properly, the whole body, it can start vibrating, or it can have sensations, it can become warm, it can give out different type of sensations. Doesn't mean that you have to have these sensations. It depends on your type of body and mind. Everybody has different experiences. Go with whatever comes to you, comes to your experience. Trust in that, because that is the awareness that is awakening and activating and bringing into life every single cell of your body. Your whole mind, it is activating. See your body completely active. Just feel the warmth and the light in the body and in the mind. Bring your awareness to the center of your being, that is your heart space. That is where is called the heart space. That is where is the inner chamber of your sanctorium, the garbhagriha of your temple. Look at the space in awareness. And see it illumined with light. The inner heart space full of light, because that's the space of God. This is that sacred temple which has the sacred light, which is always emanating. You have not noticed it because you were never aware of it. The self is self illuminating. It's full of light, it's full of unconditional love, full of grace, full of Shakti. If you become aware of this space, you will automatically see the space becoming lighter and brighter. Now, whoever you feel you are, whatever identity or personality, find yourself walking straight into this heart space, whichever way you want to imagine that. Walking straight into your heart space, into this sanctorium of full of light. You want to leave anything outside, that's up to you. Your footwear, even your clothes, your personality, your identities, the thing that you don't believe you are, but which is so heavy, drop it outside the sanctorium and walk in as the you that you always wish to be. And be seated in the center of this sanctorium of your being. Whichever direction, either that side or this side, front side, whichever way you feel comfortable, be seated in the knowing that you are flooded by light and energy in this space. The self-illuminating light, this light is not a borrowed light. This is not the moonlight which is borrowed from the sun. This is like the sun, self-illuminating. Sit in the space in whichever position you wish to sit, be seated in full awareness and become aware of the light around you. Become aware of the whole temple inside which you are sitting. Experience the light engulfing you completely. So much of light engulfing the complete you, because now you are in the center of the light and you can feel the heat and warmth and brightness of that light. There is nothing to do, you are just sitting and becoming aware of the light. Experience whatever experience you are feeling, brightness, lightness, warmth or any sensation, coolness, whatever you feel. Depending on your characteristics, you will have different experiences. Go with it. Now see the whole chamber full of light, that your entire body within the chest seems hollow and nothing but the light, and you seated there. See the whole light spread into the whole body, as though the whole body is hollow within and it's full of light, nothing else. Expand it out of the body now, out of the temple, and cover the aura of the temple, which is the koshas, because every temple, every physical object also has aura. You are just now entering into the higher bodies of your temple, the etheric space which provides prana to this temple. Just see it flooding with light. Expand further and go into the mind body. This is where the mind is. See the whole mind flooded with light, such that there is no impurity inside. If you sense any impurity, bad thought, negative thoughts, be with it. Don't resist anything. Just become aware of it and watch it dissolve in this white light or golden light. Expand it further beyond the mind into the wisdom sheet, and there also you will see full of light, dissolving every so called karmas or whatever. Just dissolving. You are not doing anything. Do not send light, do not pull light, do not do anything. Just become aware of the spreading light, that's all. And become aware of everything dissolving in that. Expand that light further to the bliss body, which you touch the bliss body, and expand it even further out of that. You are expanding this light into the world now, through your space that you are sitting in the house and into the world. So, this is that awareness of me as the temple. If I am illumined, how I can illuminate around me and the world. My self illumination is enough to illuminate everything around me and this whole world. My light goes out into the world. Try to find where are you in this. You have dissolved in the light. There is no you. The one who was sitting inside, the light is so bright that there is no difference between you and the temple now. You are merged into that light. This is the process of merging with light, merging with God. Be in that space and just witness, observe, become aware of whatever you can sense, however and whatever you are feeling or sensing. Next few moments, just become aware, because you have spread your light out of the self garbhagriha into your whole temple, into the whole aura, and into the world. Now just observe what is happening with the light, this powerful, purest of pure light in which you have dissolved yourself. Become aware. Now, those who do not have a master, just continue feeling this presence of light and just communicating a sense of gratitude to this light itself, because this is God consciousness, which has given you the opportunity to even experience it. Just no saying nothing, no need to say any gratitude or any words, no saying any words. Just express it through this silence, through awareness. You can do it. Just become aware of gratitude, gratefulness, thankfulness for the divine light. And those who have a master, just feel your heart space, the face of your master glimmering in this light within your heart space. See your master's reflection. It is not a physical body, it is the reflection of the face of the master, which represents his consciousness. Feel this overwhelming gratitude without words. Let your consciousness convey it to the Guru consciousness. The overwhelming gratitude of having brought you to here in this journey of light. The grace of the Master plays a great important role in having raised our consciousness to even be able to perceive higher truths and deeper realities and the sense of non-duality, in which state the Guru resides. He is always in the non-dual consciousness. Just become aware of gratefulness to this Master's consciousness without words. Do not use any words. If you are feeling any kind of emotions, let it be expressed, but do not use words. Do not be tempted to use words. Words are of lower dimensions, lower vibrations. When you are merged in a state of highest bliss and highest consciousness, convey it just through your awareness. Mark my words, this reaches the Guru consciousness more fast and more quicker. The Guru, even in the physical body, becomes aware of this. This is one of my personal practices I am sharing with you today. Just become grateful to him. Become aware of whatever is happening. You are one with the Guru consciousness. There is no difference. It is consciousness conveying to consciousness. There is no I, there is no you. There is no me and there is no he or she. It's all one consciousness. The Atman and the Paramatman, which is inclusive of the Guru consciousness. Now it is up to you how much time you wish to do this every single day. We did this only for 15 minutes. You can do it for even 5 minutes, where you can just sitting wherever you want. You just expand your awareness in this. Very quickly you can enter your own chamber, go there, merge into light, expand it through your higher bodies, move it out to the cosmos and see the Guru's reflection or consciousness in your being and be connected and one, communicate through awareness without words. be grateful to him, be grateful to the Param Tattva for this opportunity of having merged with it and into the journey of Advaita, non-duality of oneness. The more you do this, you will see your world changing, your spiritual goals changing, your awareness changing. Deeper truths will be revealed to you automatically, because all the higher truths come from these realms. They do not come from books. Books are only confirmations. All that you tap is from this zone. There is no technique to this. It's very spontaneous, and I do not wish to teach any techniques. So when it is done, like right now, all that we do is just become aware of our body without any technique, without dropping anything. Just become aware of your body. Just become aware of your hands, and slowly just move your fingers, that's all, or toes, so that if you are out of body consciousness, you become conscious of your body. If you are not, then it's not difficult. You can just move your fingers and slowly open your eyes. If you are closed, if you are open, you can just continue watching this screen and do not drop the connection. Very important. Normally, after all the practices, we just immediately drop, rub our hands, face, and just get up and move off. I wouldn't encourage to do that. I would encourage you to right now, after this session ends also, remain in the space. It's a kind of different state of connectedness. Now also, when you have come out of it, you are not out of it. Your physical body might move. You might think that's all okay. But see the awareness, it is still connected to the cosmos. It is still aware of the surrounding. It is still aware of the consciousness, be it of the Guru or the God consciousness. With your eyes open, you might move your body, but do not lose the connection. If you want, look here and there to your left and right, but don't drop the connection. Keep it in this manner. This is what I call as shifting into awareness and staying in awareness. This is the second step of shifting into awareness. First, we practice only shifting into awareness. Then we stay in awareness. We expand that and keep connected. And we try to expand it throughout the day and do whatever we can in this space. This is Yogastha Kurkurmani, the state of yoga. Always connected and in the divine guidance and divine protection. Please know, this automatically creates a divine connection and a divine protection. In this state of awareness, whatever you do does not come from the mind. It's not impaired by the mind. There is no impurity. Like if you have observed in this past 20 minutes, there was no such kind of thoughts that can distract you, and you did not do anything. You were just becoming only aware. This is what I mean by just being you. Just be you. Don't do, don't act, nothing. Just be you, and in that being you move around with this temple. Now, some people might have some kind of reactions immediately or later, but nothing to bother about. Like sometimes I've seen people get mild fever, or sometimes cold, or sometimes lose motions. You will see that when you are doing this, it will happen. That is the cleansing process, because the more light you feel in your being, all that is not fit for light will start leaving your body, and it will begin with the body itself, because you are attempting to make the body your temple. And in this process, when you do, most of the things that we otherwise keep on fighting, I want to fight my ego, I want to destroy my ego, I want to destroy my lust, I want to destroy my anger, I want to destroy my selfishness, my jealousy, all those things, you will not have to do and destroy anything. Please understand this. Destruction is ego. When you want to destroy something within you, it is ego that is compelling you to do that. And what is being destroyed also is ego. The arrogance, the hatred, the jealousy, the fear, the doubts, the selfishness, All this is nothing but ego only. So, ego trying to kill ego is an impossible task, and it's very, very strenuous. It's all a lot of doing. Instead of doing, you just undo this practice. Expand the awareness of purity and divinity into all your beings, into all your cells, into all your aspects of your life, and let that awareness and divinity dissolve what it has to dissolve without having to fight. Fighting is violence. Violence cannot be in spirituality, it cannot go hand in hand towards realizing higher tattvas. So, once you understand this, you will allow the light to do it. All that you do is become aware of the light. You walk as a divine being of light, and slowly you will see, as you are doing this, most of the things have automatically gets eradicated from your mind. Whatever, the habits will change, the thought patterns will change, it will automatically keep on changing without you having to do anything. It's a very safe and divine method. Do you have any questions on this? Are you all there? Where are you all? Some of you might have gone even deep, depending on, see, these are all tendencies, everybody is not the same. Somebody will have some kind of ignorances, some belief system, some conditioning, some physical characteristics, some mental characteristics. So, experiences will keep on varying from people to people. But what I say is, go with whatever that experience. Never compare yourself to other. Everybody is special, everybody is unique. You are unique in your own way. Okay. So, can you quickly tell me how was this? Because I don't know what happened on the other end. I was lost, at least in myself. So, how did you feel, or how important do you find this, and whether was it really meaningful to you, or could you experience it really, or was it simple and easy to understand, and what state were you in? Could you easily go into it and come out of it, or whatever? If you would like to share, I will take next 2 minutes for that. So, this is one kind of practice that I used to do many years back while I was in Delhi also. Regularly I used to, and this was not taught to me, this came from me. So, I believe it is in my consciousness somewhere, or perhaps something from my past life or something, it is continuation. So, it was happening. So, Gurudev once confirmed, he did not tell me directly, but he hinted very clearly to me that God, yes, that God is within you. That consciousness, Guru consciousness within you. Connect there, remain connected there. That's good. Muralidhar ji, okay, very simple and easy to understand, and I believe it's easy to experience also. You might not notice it in one session, but if you just do it, and I am telling you, this is very fluctuating. It's not like you have to sit for 1 hour or half an hour or 20 minutes. Even in 5 minutes, you can unwind yourself, expand, flourish yourself completely there, and then pull it back and then do it. And just remain in that kind of awareness. Walk in awareness, talk in awareness, deal in awareness, live in awareness. Whatever you do in that. Sometimes you might forget it, sometimes it might go off. So, sometimes whenever you have a break, you just do this again session, just quickly 5 minutes or something, and then you see the result. It will be different. The moment you are in awareness, you are a different person. You will see suddenly you are talking very softly, your voice becomes soft, you talk gently, your hand movements, it becomes very slow, soft. The way you walk also will change. I have tried this while walking. Suddenly when I go into that space, I am walking in a certain jittery way, and suddenly automatically as though something has come over me, and then I see the steps also is very graceful. The talks become very graceful. Whatever you do, the action becomes very graceful. So that shows that you are in that divine consciousness at that time. So all that we need to do is now keep on expanding that, expanding that, expanding that. And the more you get stillness, the more you get peace, the less you will be worried about karmas. Everybody is only worried about karmas and how much stock I have and how much. Don't go into that. That is never ending. Let karma dissolve whenever it has to dissolve. You live in present awareness, in that beingness. Because I am telling you, if you live in awareness and if you live in certain peace and stillness, you will be able to live life much more fully, and that is worthwhile than wondering and worrying about your karmas. How many karmas and when and how much time is going to be there and when will I get rid of. Let it be. Walk as an impure person. There is no problem. I always say, never have the feeling also that we are divine. We are on the process of becoming divine. We are divine from within, but we do have our impurities also, and it's okay. Because when we say okay, I am okay to have impurities, I am accepting myself the way I am. The moment I accept myself the way I am, I will start loving myself the way I am. Whatever imperfection, I will love myself. I will never put down myself. I will never look down on myself. I will never put a false remark on myself. I will never say, I am like this only, I am this way only. I have from childhood only I am like this, from before only I am like this. No, that is not the real you. You were born very beautiful and very divine, but the world, the conditioning has made you that way. You cannot call I am this way from childhood. No, that you have put on a raincoat, you have put on a coat which is not you. Which is you is what you experience here. In this meditation that you see, this is not even a meditation, this is an awareness practice. You notice who you are. So while you live in the world, you will see that even if you are carrying some awareness, your false I also will be there. We have to understand that, because if false I we say I am not the, then you are realized person, you are divine. Then you cannot exist in this world. You are an avadut. No body consciousness, nothing. We are not that. We are in the process of purifying ourselves, so we will have flaws. So it is okay to believe or know that I have flaws, but I am not going to stick with an identity. I have this flaw, so it is going to be forever. It is temporary. It is going to go. I know how it is going to go. I am making this little small steps towards that, and as I do that, slowly it is going, and you will see a certain stillness coming into your life. Then the running will stop. Then that desperation will stop, that helplessness will stop, that urgency and that thing like, I am wasting my time or I am so behind. Some people tell me at age 50, oh, I should have done this before. It does not happen that way. Most of us feel that way. Oh, only if we should have known this before so much. No, you are supposed to live your prarabdha. Your prarabdha will not allow you to have this kind of insight till that thing is clear. Even I am telling you, right now we are sitting here. Why only 25 people I can see here? Why only 25 of us are sitting? Because the prarabdha will not allow somebody to get deeper into this. Whatever that catch might be, whatever that distraction might be. Something or the other, the mind will control them, because the karma acts on the mind and mind acts on your life. The way your mind brings your life is the way you are heading towards your destiny. So that is how the mind controls. So once you understand this science and you understand the whole process of whatever the so called, there are thousands of different vocabulary for self realization, thousands of different methods, techniques, and once you understand what the self is, the simple you that you are, that is the self. As Bhagavan Ramana always said, you are already realized, there is nothing to attain realization. You are realized only, there are some layers, parte hain, which is clouding your life. So because of that cloud, you feel that you got to go and do out something. Nothing, just Sit there and watch through the clouds. You will suddenly see the clouds are becoming transparent and you can see the other side. Why I have not been able to do? Because the mind does not still me. The mind does not allow me to sit, relax, and become aware. It tells me I have to do something to get something. That's the catch. So, as much as you, okay, I've seen some messages here. Very enlightening. Thank you, Jitesh ji. Okay, thank you. Megha Singh, thank you very much for sharing this practice. Blessed session. Mala Venkat went very deep, could hear your voice in the background but lost somewhere, didn't know what you were talking, and I was lost into some wonderful silence and light. Excellent. That is that space of nothingness. You have touched that. Some people do that, and then you're not even aware of yourself. You're not even aware of somebody. You can hear the voice. Sometimes the volume is more, sometimes it's less, sometimes in between the words you can't hear only. Suddenly you will hear again it's gone, fainting. That's the waving, the waves of that consciousness which is moving in and out, is going deep and suddenly coming and touching the ego. Then you hear again it floats away from the ego, that kind of experiences. This is what we got to keep on expanding. So you'll know, and from that space you will know what is the self. That space you will know, okay, this is what it is. And then where there is no mind. And once you experience that, when there is no mind, it's so blissful, so peaceful, so calm. The answers are coming, everything is, solutions are coming to life. Then all that run will stop. Anita ji, Vasanta ji, very simple and unique. Very great. I was wanting to do little more far, but I didn't want to do it because it might not cause good outcomes. There are some more deeper ways to go into, but then you might have a sudden cleansing and sudden release and all that. I don't want to get into that. This also some might have, huh? So don't worry about it. Just how and when you can do, you keep on doing. Shabnam, once there, I was totally gone. You have to go. That's all. The I has to disappear. Only in that space only we can see that. So, dear ones, thank you very much for being here today. Okay, Swati says, Jyotika says, Ramlila Kumar says, Deepavali says, Isha says, okay. Yatin says, okay. Glad to have you all here. Because of your gathering only we could do something deeper like this. I hope to see you again next Sunday. Probably I might be traveling on next Sunday. If I am traveling, then I will do a session from wherever I am in, whichever place. But for that I will have to use mobile, and I still doubt if there is no 1000 members, I cannot do it from the mobile. Then I will have to do an open session, which I will do it on Facebook, but it will not be so deep. These I don't want to make it public. I want to keep it only for those who are really interested in this and who will not judge it or try to think something else about it, but just understand and benefit out of it. So these kind of sessions I will be doing only in the private lives, and this will automatically, the moment I shut it, it will automatically go into the private mode. So only those people who are requesting it will get, I mean, if you have not seen it or if you want to relook into it, then you will have to send email. Then I will have to add your name to that session, and only you will be made available to it. That's how it goes. And eventually I will also be rooming those emails, because I have got many emails all these days, but I don't see the attendance there, so it's of no point. So who are not there regular in this, I will simply quietly take it off. I want just simple few people here who can connect with these details. Yeah, Yatin ji. Greetings and blessings of the divine to you. Malaji, want this video to listen again and again. Okay, I'll add you into the, there's a private, there is a provision there. In the private, only those who emails is added, only they will be able to see it. I'll add you there. So if anybody needs, just you can just put in a mail, I'll do that. And if anybody anytime wants to unsubscribe, anytime you want to, you can again put an email. I'll take you off the list also at the same time. Okay, then thank you more. And yes, I am available to personal sessions. If you wish anything in detail you want, you can just look into those that space there, shiftingintoawareness.com/speak. And if you want to sign up, you can do that. Or if you find that this is helping you, this is all enough, all well and good. May God bless you always. So hard to open the eyes to come back. That's good, Shabnam. Mayurakshi, thank you. Thank you and God bless you. So with this, I take your leave. Stay blessed and have a great time. Murlidhara Bhattji, I'll see you tomorrow again, Murlidhara ji. So stay blessed. Much divine love and light to you. Gurudev Sharanam. Guru Mandala Sharanam. Gurubhyo Namaha. I actually wanted to dedicate this session today to Father Agasthyarappa and Malupa Mudra. Agasthyarappa is Agastya Mahamuni and Malupa Mudra, because I had some good things happening today with these special beings. So I think next Sunday or whenever we do this private session, I'll talk something in detail about them and something to share. That is next time. See you. Stay blessed.